Mm. All right, welcome to episode. What is it? 6?
It is 6.
6. Okay, yeah, I'm completely discombobulated. I mean, I've had a long day and I'm kind of tired and so that's why I was confused about which episode that we're in. So
Well,
yeah,
I'm
we're on.
still, like I said, recovering, so my voice is better, but it will unfortunately go in and out. I will try to
Yeah.
keep it at this level, but I am here and I'm feeling so much better. So
Okay.
much better. But we can go into whatever you want to talk about. And then I have some things to say because there's some stuff that I saw on X that I wasn't too happy with. And like I said, when you send this to me, I'm not going to be able to, because of my mouth, I'm not going to be able to promote it very well because, yeah, there's a lot I got to say. Not
Yeah,
all of it good.
I mean, yeah, I mean
Hey,
it's
Greg.
okay. Sounds good.
Oh.
You'll be on in an hour. All right, appreciate it. Glad you're able to come on any way possible
Hey,
because
Greg, I know exactly what you're going through. Like I said, I'm still recovering from my infection, sinus infection. So I'm right there with you, buddy.
yeah, I mean, I don't let it get to that point, which is I'm like, yeah, no, thank you. I just take my allergy pill and that's it.
I should probably get some allergy medicine because, like I
Yeah,
said, my son has the nasal spray and then he also has the liquid, and he doesn't get a lot of. Well, he used to get a lot of ear infections, but he doesn't get
yeah,
in as much anymore because we have the allergy stuff.
yeah. I used to get allergies and ear infections and stuff as a kid, as a baby. In fact, I spent a
Hmm.
lot of the first year of my life in the hospital due to
Yeah, so did he, because
allergy. I
we were
mean,
always
ear
in and out of
infections
the
and stuff.
ER. I mean, it gets to the point where he's like, "Are we going to the ER, mommy?" I'm like, "No."
That's
And he
funny.
knew how to get to the ER too.
Oh well, I mean, you go there regularly, and it's
It was
something.
scary because, I've never had it where we couldn't get his, fever to go down. That was the
Yeah.
main thing, like, we were literally giving him. I didn't even get the codeine. I did.
Uh,
Um, yeah, my doctor gave me codeine for the this, and it really didn't take it away. Greg, if you, get a hold of Mucinex, Mucinex is really good for keeping all this, like, because it usually will hurt above here for me. That's how I know I'm getting a sinus infection. So Mucinex is your friend. It keeps all this stuff going so that you can, hopefully not get it stuck down here like I do.
uh, I mean, I have all the tabs open where we're live at. It's all over the place. Rumble, Rockin, my Facebook page. I
Awesome.
mean, everywhere. Which is why I'm like, I have a million tabs open here. Hopefully, my computer doesn't slow down because my computer's kind of older. So far, it's fine. So, but yeah, let's get into some stuff here today because we only have a couple of hours. So, but
Yes, I need to be off by 10 because Kit, I don't know why
uh,
Kit does this to me. He's like, "Oh, we're having a Patreon I'll show on Sunday or Saturday." I'm like, "Darn it. Why do you have to
yeah,
do this to me?"
yeah, I mean, it's tough when
I
we
mean, I
have
love Kit
we're
and everything, but I'm
yeah
just like, "Kit, ah."
yeah. So yeah, let's start with this article or piece because I wanted to say something else, but I forgot. Yeah, you got the Mucinex. Got to get this crud
That
out.
is good stuff, Greg, I'm telling you. I should probably take some, like, after I get off of here, I'm gonna take some more. I took some this morning, and it's
Yeah,
12 hours, which is really good. It keeps all this just flowing so that you can get it out.
yeah,
Alright, sorry. Go ahead. You,
that's fine.
okay, this is gonna be fun because I'm going to talk about this.
So this is an opinion piece on NoDQ.com. I'm guessing this writer is younger because there's no way he would think this if he were our age. But he says
Probably
how
20 years old or something,
yeah
or in his
how
20s.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's my guess because he likes the Omegas and the Ospreys of the world. I mean, he runs and Japanese wrestling in general. How old
Mm.
fartism is hurting the wrestling industry. So he's specifically going to mention Vince Russo, Jim Cornette, Eric Bischoff, and this is Disco Inferno here. But
Yeah.
he talks about Conan too, so that's why said Conan initially. But I'm surprised Jim Cornette, Vince Russo, and Eric Bischoff are lumped together in one
Yeah,
attack piece.
because I
But
mean, well, let's start with Vince Russo. He was the shits. He literally
yeah,
had one good idea, and that was the Austin versus McMahon feud. And
yeah,
that was, I mean, that was pretty much it. Otherwise, it was, TNA, tits and ass.
yeah.
It's like, okay, enough with this. It turned me off, or, I would just turn that stuff off and then wait for the Austin stuff to come back on. Um, uh, Eric Bischoff was so, I mean, WCW was like a parody of itself
Yeah,
at one point. Disco Inferno was okay. Like I said, he was nice enough to answer my email. So him and Conan, I
yeah.
made Conan laugh because um, I actually made fun of Disco.
Well, I mean, it's yeah, but somehow he lumps them all together. Like somehow they all agree on wrestling, and I don't listen to Vince Russo. I listen to Bischoff and Cornette, and occasionally Conan. His show. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, I will listen to Conan show if he talks about Curt. I
Yeah,
haven't really listened lately. But I stopped watching Eric Bischoff because of some of the things he said about Kurt, and then some of the things he also said about Jesse
uh,
Ventura. Um,
yeah. He fired Ventura because allegedly he fell asleep right before a taping, a WCW taping in '94.
oh, really? Because
According to
that's
him, at least, that was his story why he fired Jesse.
okay.
I don't know
Well,
whether
there's
Jesse
some
denied
things that
that.
he
I
said
think. Yeah,
about Jesse
mm,
as governor that I didn't like because I didn't live in Minnesota at the time,
yeah.
but I have talked to some people who actually did have parents that lived in Minnesota and voted for Jesse, and Jesse was a great governor because I've talked to some of the people that lived in that time and he when he was governor, and they loved him. They
Well,
literally revered him and loved him. So he was a good uh governor no matter what Bischoff says. So, just because of the comments, I turned him off.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. I mean, I get that, but I like the banter him and Conrad have because Conrad is an AEW mark, so and Eric's like, dude, this is bullshit. It sucks.
The only time I ever have to listen to Conrad Thompson is Jeff Jarrett. I watch his podcast sometimes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's usually like because Conrad is also a mark for Ric Flair because he's
Yeah.
his son-in-law. Well, any fucking idiot, sorry, no offense, but no, any freaking
he
person can just marry a daughter of Ric Flair's.
he got pissed off at me because remember when Flair had his last match and he was like
Yes,
the
and
promoter
almost
for it.
died 3 times.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, your father-in-law almost died 3 times in the last 2 years, and you're gonna enable him by doing this last match thing, and he's like, well, that's what he wants to do, blah 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 blah. I think he may have blocked me too after that. I don't know. I have to check,
You have a lot
but
of people that
yeah,
blocked you.
a lot of people in the wrestling business blocked me, and this is before I started this podcast. So imagine if they see this, how many more would block
No.
me?
No, Greg, he didn't. He answered my email and I made um I actually made uh Conan laugh because I was like, if I had been in the ring with them with Kurt and Disco, because back in '97, right before Starcade, '97, they actually had a match when the NWO took over Nitro. And
Yeah.
I just remember Kurt was laughing and I wanted to know what they were laughing about. I thought maybe he was making fun of him or like poking fun of him because of his gimmick. And I said like a joke would be, hey Disco, ring ring, hello? Yeah, okay. Hey Disco, the 70s called, they want their gimmick back. And
Wasn't
I made Conan laugh on that one.
wasn't I think Mike Awesome was the '70s guy in WCW, if I remember correctly.
Um, I
It
don't
was late in
really.
WCW though. It was
Yeah,
late.
I don't really remember Mike
Eh,
Awesome.
He was the ECW champion, and then he signed with WCW late, like in 2000.
Okay,
And
yeah, that's
he,
probably
he
when
was
around the time I stopped watching.
yeah, he was that 70s guys and that 70s guy, and then later on became the fat chick thriller, which is a ridiculous gimmick, where he liked fat girls, but yeah, he was like, well, I mean, it paid the bills because in ECW he's ECW champion, but Paul Heyman wasn't paying him at that point, so it was like, okay, and fuck it, I'm going to WCW. And
Is that
Russo
because
booked
they
it.
were just close to shutting down?
Yeah, around 2000 this happened. So
Mm,
he's the ECW
mhm.
champion. He was being used well by Paul, but he wasn't getting
Yeah,
paid. So it was like, I got a mortgage, so I'm gonna go work
and
for
kids.
WCW. Yeah, and he ended up with those two horrible gimmicks by Vince Russo. So it's like,
Of course. They wanted
but
to do, and I think it's something they probably should have done, but, what they were gonna do with Kurt and Sean Stasiak right before, WCW shut,
yeah,
and Kurt talks about this in his radio interview, that literally, they were going to, um so, Sean Stasiak was gonna become the perfect one, and he took
uh,
over basically Kurt's music,
mm-hmm,
because he wasn't calling himself Mr. Perfect, so there was no liable there.
mm-hmm,
But there was a lot of he was going to be called the perfect one, and literally Sean Stasiak was going to literally Kurt was supposed to, I guess, pass the torch to
yeah,
Sean Stasiak and kind of take over his perfect gimmick. And then of course WCW failed. So
yeah. So yeah, but this article, this piece is kind of douchey too throughout it. He's a douchebag, but he has his words. He uses like over the top words only people that went to college would know. So old fartism is actually in the English dictionary, which surprised me. He quotes it there, blah blah blah. Doesn't really matter much. I don't care. It's a virus. Like he claims old fartism is like a virus, blah blah blah. You have stuffy
only in
nose
his own
constantly.
head.
Yeah, I don't really care about that too much either. This is the listening to podcasts from Jim Cornette, Eric Bischoff, Conan, Disco Inferno, Dutch Mantel, and others can worsen symptoms. If you experience a blah 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 medical provider or just watch wrestling for what it is in 2024. Right, that's the big one. This is argument. Watch wrestling for what it is in 2024.
I do. Well, I did, and I have to tell you, I watched the Elimination Chamber match, and let me tell you, all I found myself doing was skipping through it, going, "Wow, I can't believe this." And it literally was just them flipping around and jumping around, like you say, like Circus Olay
Yeah,
people. I have watched it, dude, and let me tell you something. I'm not an old fart because I hate modern wrestling because it's nothing but a bunch of bullshit, shitty wrestling. It's not even really wrestling. It's more just gymnastics, like Jim Cornette says. So
yeah,
Jim Cornette is correct, and this guy can go screw himself.
yeah. Eric
Sorry, you're
Bischoff
such a mark for fucking, Circus Delay people.
Bischoff makes the same argument, which is why he's mad at him for the most part. It's like, oh well, that's why he lumps it in with Jim Cornette and Vince Russo, even though ironically they all hate each other. So it's like lumping them
Yeah,
together is kind of weird, but
I know Jim Cornette literally wants to piss and shit on Vince Russo's
uh, on
grave.
his grave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he wants to stay alive long enough and let Vince
Yes.
Russo die first in order for him to do that. Even if he's old and can't walk, he's telling people, "Look, will me to his grave because I'm going to do this."
I'm gonna shit and piss on his grave.
Yeah. So yeah, no matter how old he is or anything like that, he's going to do
And
that.
if the wife doesn't help, if Stacy doesn't help, she's out of the will.
An entire group of bitter, jaded fans don't even watch wrestling through the lens of a fan anymore, but a analyst, excuse me. How can anyone truly have fun watching an art form they allegedly are passionate about when they can't even enjoy it without uber criticizing it first?
Because I've watched it. It's literally like they're just flipping around for no freaking reason. The storylines don't make sense. They
Mhm.
have tiny little guys that are 185 pounds, and it doesn't make sense when they go up against a 2 or 300 pound guy, and it's not believable, dude. It's if you freaking watch it from the lens of old modern wrestling or older wrestling, trust me, they weren't jumping around for no freaking reason. There was a
Mhm.
reason why the Blue Blazer did high flying stuff like the Rockers. But then there was wrestlers like Curt who literally adapted to the other wrestler and would do whatever the other guy would do. But he knew how to do moves. These guys just jump around and flip around like they're freaking Circus Soleil people.
They have no
That's the
basics.
difference.
They have no basics. They can do all the high
Right.
spots perfectly, but their
What
basics are
happened to
shit.
arm bars? What happened to
Mm,
headlocks? What happened
yeah.
to that shit? You know what
Omega literally
happened to it? They stopped doing it because they're not real wrestlers. Sorry.
Omega
Go ahead.
literally did not train. Like he just did, and neither did the Bucks. They didn't go to a wrestling school. They just did their
Right.
high spots, and then they started going to the indies, started working, and then
They
all of a
just did
sudden,
whatever they saw on indie circuits. And what
hmm
does Jim Cornette say? So they have all these indie guys, all these indie darlings, as you would say, and Jim
hmm
Cornette would say, um, who wanted to do these high flying moves and go through freaking glass and do all this stuff. Well, if you wanted to do that, that was called ECW. And no offense, but it wasn't my cup of tea. It may have been some people like Kit
hmm
Cabello's.
yeah,
No offense, Kit, but it was shit. It was utter shit. There was
yeah,
no arm bars, there were no headlocks, there were no like submission moves like an Indian deathlock, which was once called a figure four. I mean, for
yeah,
heaven's sake, I I wasn't born in '82, but I still know wrestling back in Portland wrestling back in '82, '83, and '84. And hell, I wasn't even freaking born yet. But I
yeah,
have enough sense to go back and look at that kind of wrestling and say, "Holy crap, it was awesome." Because they had
yeah,
people who knew how to do the freaking moves, and basically Portland was kind of like ECW. You could do whatever the freaking heck you wanted to do,
yeah,
and like I said, we will see more of that because I have a few things to show tomorrow.
yeah,
Hopefully, my internet holds in and it's not like choppy. But I mean, go back and watch some of that old stuff. Go watch NWA. Go watch Portland. Watch AWA. Watch Florida wrestling or Georgia wrestling. Watch the territories because I can
yeah,
guarantee you that the territories actually made freaking sense.
yeah. They
Sorry,
had,
I'm
well, they
sorry.
had to, they had to because unlike today, there were no TV rights fees, so they had
Right,
to draw in order to draw money. They in order to make money, they had to draw money, which selling tickets. Now WWE doesn't. Neither company sell tickets
right.
because they get their money prepaid to them by the cable companies or
And
the
even
channels.
Jim Cornette will say, it doesn't make sense to have these 95-pound girls. I mean, for freak's sake, Miss Elizabeth was 104 pounds or 105 or something. But she was at least 100 pounds, for heaven's sake.
Yeah,
And she didn't look like no damn
but
schoolgirl.
yeah, but they Vince never put her in the ring. I mean that, and even
I
though
mean,
she
no, she
was
wasn't a real wrestler. I mean, Sherry was at least also 100 pounds, like 115.
later,
And
you yeah, go ahead.
yeah, like, against Andy Richter, Wendy Richter, and, I mean, they had these girls that would literally look like real wrestlers. Judy oh, shoot, I forgot her name.
uh,
Rockin' Robin
yeah,
and Sherry Martel. These girls looked like real wrestlers, not like these stupid Japanese girls who couldn't freaking put on a headlock if their life depended on it. I mean, when you and I saw on X, I saw this video of oh shoot, I forgot who it was now, but it was one of the guys that was an indie darling, and he was wrestling a sex doll. I'm honestly surprised, Angel, that he didn't pull
mhm.
down his pants and make the doll suck his dick because
I know
that's what
I
it didn't
know
look like
Omega wrestled
wrestling.
one. Omega wrestled the sex doll at one point.
Yeah. And at
And
the
other
end, he
guys
should have had it,
probably did
where he
too.
had his pants down and he was just having the doll suck him off. I mean, that's not wrestling. It's like
No,
Jim Cornette talks about in, wrestling the Invisible Man.
yeah, which is a lot of these marks do too. It's absurd, but And let's see. As you've seen above, the old farts of
Mhm.
wrestling podcast taking advantage of gullible online fans who can't think for themselves. Instead, they parrot what they hear as if the truth decides they're experts for it.
Trust me, I can
Shouldn't
think for myself.
Yeah, it's really condescending. It's like, oh well, these older fans, they don't know what they're
Because they
so.
have to talk down to you to make you
It
feel like, "Oh, there's something wrong with you because you
this
don't like modern
hmm
wrestling."
this
I'm
entire
sorry.
piece is condescending and talks down to the people who listen to Cornette and Bischoff and even Russo. Russo talks shit about AEW too, but I wouldn't trust him to book AEW. He's the only one. He's the only
He
one who's
would in a
begging for a
heartbeat,
job.
I'm telling you.
He's the only one begging for a job. But like, hey,
Yeah.
Tony, hire
"Oh,
me.
I'm so
I'll make
tired
your
of
show
watching
better.
Raw. I'm so
Uh-huh.
tired of critiquing Raw." Shut the fuck up. You're lucky you even have a freaking job where you get millions of dollars to sit in your stupid freaking house and bitch about this and bitch about that.
At the
Walk a
same
mile in my
time,
shoes, Russo. I don't get billions or millions of dollars to do that.
he's like, I hate wrestling and I dislike wrestling, bro. But he wants a job in AEW. It's like it makes no sense. He wants a job in AEW, but he just wants a job. He doesn't care. He just wants to bilk Tony Khan of millions. If he's stupid enough to hire him, that's all it is.
Because he knows that Tony Khan will just throw money at him. He's
Yeah,
literally doing that with there was a Jim was talking about a rumor that Monet, Mercedes Monet is
yeah,
getting $10 million. Why?
that's
She's
ridiculous.
not a good wrestler. She's not even a big draw. So unless she can put ass in seats, why is she getting $10 million when the rest of them are probably not getting that much? I don't know. I could
She
be
that
wrong.
that $10 million is over the top, but I would not be
Yeah.
surprised if she's had the highest paid wrestler Tony has. Yeah, that's the rumor that she's making bank from AEW, whatever the amount is, whether it's 5 million or 10, or I think it's more five. You cut it in half, but that's still the
Yeah.
highest paid girl. She making more than Roman Reigns probably, which is ridiculous. But
Which is freaking ridiculous. And if Tony
you,
Khan is just going to throw money, hell, give me $1 million. I'll go to AEW and sit there and pretend like I'm going to beat up some girl. And I'm
yeah,
probably more pounds than all the rest of those freaking girls.
yeah.
And I probably know better wrestling than they do because I actually watch Curt Hennig, a guy who can wrestle.
I think that most pro wrestlers should have some sort of base in amateur wrestling. At,
Right.
at the very least, if you're going, I'm sure a lot of the promoters in the territory days kind of demanded that some sort of base. Like,
Hmm.
Vern Gagne definitely, Bill
Yeah.
Watts definitely. I know Bill Watts would have hated today's wrestling if he were around still, but
um,
most of these old school promoters would have hated it. But
Well, that's because most of the old school promoters were also wrestlers themselves.
yeah,
So, Randy and Lanny Poffo's dad, I can't think of his name right now,
Angelo,
was Angelo. Yes, thank you. Was
mm-hmm.
also a wrestler. Vern Gagne was a wrestler.
Wrestler.
Um, oh shoot,
Eddie Graham was a
Jerry,
wrestler.
Jerry,
Jerry Jarrett was a
Jerry
wrestler.
Jarrett, thank you,
Eddie
was a
Graham was a
wrestler.
wrestler.
Eddie Graham was a wrestler.
In
All
Florida. Yeah.
these guys, yeah, all these guys were ex-wrestlers themselves, so they just turned to be promoters. There's only like a handful of people I can think of. Was Bill Watts a wrestler?
I think so. I'm not 100%
Okay.
sure on that. I know that Vince
Vince
Senior
Senior
wasn't.
wasn't. Yeah,
Neither
Vince
Vince
Senior was
Junior.
not.
Vince Junior would
And
wrestle much later, but
well, yeah, but he didn't want his son to be a wrestler
yeah,
to
he
say,
Vince Junior wanted to be a wrestler initially,
yes, he
and
did.
and
Big
then his
time.
father's like, no, no, you know, if you gonna do anything in wrestling, it's commentary and promote, not
Promoting, yeah.
yeah, not work. You're not gonna actually be a worker,
Right.
even though
And
Vince Junior wanted to be one.
Fritz von Erich in Texas. He was a
Yeah, he was a
wrestler.
wrestler. He
Yes.
had he had a I can't say the word, but he had that gimmick, German from World War II, let's say.
Yeah, so from World War II. Also,
Yeah,
um, oh gosh, I can see his face and now I can't remember his name. Oh, Terry Funk and Dory Funk
yeah, they're
Jr. and Senior was a wrestler. So a lot of these promoters, that these old territory promoters, were literally wrestlers themselves. or they
Mhm.
had wrestlers in their ranks like Dusty booked, Flair booked.
Mhm.
They had booking people that were literally wrestlers themselves while they booked. Grizzly Smith, even though he had a history,
Mhm.
who is Jake the Snake's father,
Yeah.
he booked for I want to say Bill Watts, or maybe he was Jim Crockett. I'm not sure, but I know he booked because I
I
watched the
know
Grizzly Smith Dark Side of
yeah,
the Ring.
I know that Grizzly worked for McMahon for years, Junior.
Yes, yes, he
He was
did.
an agent or something. Yeah,
And didn't know,
he
and they didn't know the other side of him. Right.
no.
Even Baby Doll, who was married to Sam Houston, who is the son of Grizzly Smith.
Yeah, another son.
She
Mhm.
didn't even know that side of him. Like, and she had married into the family at one point.
Yeah, he hit it
So
real well.
he
But,
did, yeah.
I mean, shouldn't veterans help put over younger talent instead of insulting them where they work? That's usually industry
No, they
standard.
got bills to pay. They got dues to pay. I mean, not bills.
Uh,
They have dues to pay.
yeah,
Uh,
that's another thing. Younger talent never paid those dues because,
no.
they're pretty entitled. There's a lot of entitlement among younger
Right.
talent.
Right. Well, I paid my dues in Indy. No, you didn't. This is not like
Mhm.
the freaking territories where Curt Hennig was like literally a job guy in Portland. And yeah, he did lose some matches. He also won some too. But
Yeah,
that's what you did. You became a job guy, even though you were second generation, third generation. I'm sure The Rock paid his dues in some of the,
yeah,
when he was coming up in,
In Memphis.
yeah, he was
They
in
beat the
some of the
crap out of him.
territories.
Yeah,
Now
in
there's no
Memphis.
territories anymore, but that doesn't mean that in the indie circuits you didn't pay your freaking dues.
No,
You
you
didn't
did.
start off freaking champion. Like Curt didn't start off champion. No, he went up
Mhm.
through the ranks and proved that he could wrestle and proved that, I'm sorry, I'm getting really angry.
No, this pissed me off
um
too when I read it.
yeah, it's like you don't understand what paying your dues was all about. Curt Hennig, when he started out in literally as a rookie in the WWF with
Mhm.
Jesse Ventura, with his dad, and with Adrian Adonis. And I talked to Jesse Ventura myself. I know that it was his rookie year, his rookie coming into the business, and
Mhm.
freaking
Mm.
Curt was with his dad and he paid his freaking dues, went to Portland, paid his dues, went to AWA, paid his dues, and he became the AWA champion. He also became Portland champion. Why?
Mm.
Because he fucking sorry. He he wrestled his ass off
Yeah.
because he did that for
It's
a reason. He did it so that he could prove to everybody that he could wrestle. Not this going to this indie shit and, oh, I paid my dues, so I can be champion now. No, fuck that.
es especially wrestlers in AEW, they have that entitlement like, "Oh, well, I mean, I paid my dues, like my ass."
Yeah, because you were
Yeah,
an indie darling
yeah.
who literally had Indian had indie fans cheering for your stupid ass, but you weren't paying nothing. You sit around on your freaking video game on Twitch all day and think you're the greatest wrestler to ever walk into the buildings. Guess what, honey? You are the shits. So is your wrestling. You're not even an entertainer. And that's what they stopped calling them. That for a while they stopped calling them wrestlers. They kept on calling them entertainers. Well,
Well,
you're
that
not entertaining anybody except for
yeah.
yourself as you jack off to your Twitch people.
Yeah, that was a Vince thing, he didn't he wrestling was a dirty word to him, and wrestler, so which is why he started calling them entertainers and superstars and stuff. So help future generations, the toxic takes becoming detrimental to the wrestling business, the only making the entire industry in which is WWE and AEW are both profiting and successful and look bad. AEW is not profiting. There's no
No, they
way they're
aren't.
they're turning a
They're
profit.
freaking losing money. They
Uh,
lose like 1,000 or 100,000 people every time they have freaking people like
right.
Monet on there
Mm-hmm.
or Riho, because she can't freaking wrestle. She's 95 pounds. She looks like an idiot. She looks
Yeah.
like a little tiny girl trying to flip her way through all these bigger girls. Well, I'm sorry, that's not how it goes. Okay, if you want to make it fucking believable, get these larger pound girls or get some muscle on this girl. Let her
Yeah.
eat freaking meat or something. Get some freaking muscle on this girl, and then it will be believable that she can actually freaking wrestle.
But
Otherwise, other girls are just breaking their necks trying to make her look good. That's not how it goes, honey. That's not how wrestling goes. You want these girls to be over, get some fucking muscle on them. Let them eat a sandwich, not be anorexic.
no,
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
no. I mean, it's
I'm so
ridiculous.
pissed off. I'm like, I can't even believe half of this shit. When Jim's, talks about it, Jim Cornette, I'm just sitting there going, "Oh my god." And these people, they are such marks that they actually believe this girl could wrestle. Well, get some freaking meat
Like,
on her bones and
I
then
think
let's see.
I think it was last week or the week before where Greg and me were talking about this match, and it was just Willow Nightingale. That girl was putting herself in and out of these moves.
Right, she almost broke
Yeah,
her neck like what, 5 times?
yeah, because she was putting herself in and out of these moves in order to make Riho look good. It's ridiculous.
The only thing I
So,
don't like about Jim Cornette is his singing. I'm like, "Oh, no, 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 Jim, stop. Stop,
yeah,
stop."
yeah. There, everybody's trying to
Otherwise,
get
we
him to
love you,
stop.
Jim.
That's the weird narrative getting thrown around by supporters. They're industry veterans. They know more than you. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they
They
do. They've been there. They paid their dues.
uh,
Randy Orton paid his dues. He went into the Marines before he became a wrestler. His
yeah,
father and his grandfather were wrestlers.
third generation.
Um,
Yeah, I mean these
Even John
guys.
Cena, he came up through the ranks as well.
Jim Cornette trained John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista, three of the biggest stars the last 20 plus years. So he was
Right.
there in OVW training those
OVW,
guys. So,
right. Even
uh,
Chris Candido and
Cornette
a lot
hired
of
him.
the right.
Cornette,
So
I
a
think
lot
it's
of
his
these
first real job in
OVW
wrestling.
people
Yeah,
actually went up through the ranks and were able to, pay their dues, so to speak. But they did that because they had a good teacher who was Jim Cornette, who been in the business, knew what the fuck he was talking about. I mean, he was a great heel manager for how many years? He was there for the whole Andy Kaufman, Jerry Lawler thing. So
uh huh.
don't tell veterans that they should somehow kiss the boots of these new freaking wrestlers when they haven't paid their dues. They just think they're indie darlings and they can do whatever the hell they want. No,
Yeah,
that's not how it works, honey bunny.
it's just condescending, and it continues. No shit, they were around the biggest peak. Nothing. I'm a dumb indie mark that thinks a body slam is so boring. I might change the channel, not doing a black backflip after. Blah blah blah. They're right about today's soft modern industry, which is why they all still hot jobs within the industry, right? So they don't have jobs. I misunderstood. Okay, he's saying that none of these people have jobs in today's wrestling industry. Cornette and Bischoff don't want jobs. I don't know about Russo definitely does, but
Bischoff did have a job. He actually was hired back a couple of years ago by the WWE.
he
And
lasted
Jim
like a month.
Cornette is the one saying, "Oh, well, let's see what Bischoff can do now
Yeah, he
with
lasted a
all
month.
this bullshit that they got going on."
He was the executive producer of SmackDown and Paul
Right.
Heyman executive producer of Raw.
Right.
Bischoff lasted a month before he quit, and Paul Heyman
Exactly.
lasted a few months before Vince fired him and removed him from that role. And
Right,
Vince
and
was
he
at
put him
control.
back with Roman Reigns and in a
Yeah.
managerial position. Um, I I don't watch it, so, I don't know what Roman Reigns is all about, but, I mean, I haven't seen Roman Reigns wrestle either because I'm just so disgusted. I literally have to watch older wrestling just to have a palate cleanser. At
Yeah.
least the job guys, you knew who the job guys were, like, the Brooklyn Brawler and
Yeah.
Barry Horowitz.
Yeah.
Those
I was thinking
guys
of him.
made the veterans look good, and that's the reason why the veterans would have to fight them because literally that's how the veterans got over.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
Keep going.
so this guy acts like they want jobs, but no one's hiring them. No, I mean Bischoff and Cornette don't. Russo does. Nobody touches him, and I'm not sure about Disco or Cornette. I don't listen to him that often. So they don't have.
Disco, they talk about all the modern wrestling because I'm sure they don't like it. Um,
Oh, I've seen
because
Disco on Twitter. He shits all over AEW. That's why this
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
hates
yeah.
him. But
Well, on the show too, they talk about, all kinds of modern wrestling and they shit all over it. And it's because like even in WCW, Conan would tell you, yeah, it was the shits, but we still, had certain mid-level card things that we did. And
yeah,
how do you get up on the card? when it was Curt and Conan with he was with Master P, or the Master P crew and
Yeah.
the rap crew. And Curt was in the West Texas Rednecks, and Curt was, he thought that they should have been higher on the card, and they should have. But I mean, for fuck's sake, don't sit here and tell me that they weren't, superstars. Because Conan had
Yeah.
already, made his way through the ranks, and then he joined the NWO. Well, that was the thing to do at that time.
Yeah, everybody joined the NWO. It got to
Even
the
Buff
point where
Bagwell.
there were 4 limos and like 40 guys running the NWO. It was
Hmm.
ridiculous. But at that point, but they don't have jobs, so any former wrestler with a few $100 and a PC can start their own podcast. Here's the truth about this: they aren't helping. Honestly, all they do is complain and not constructively critique. I went back and listened to a few podcasts above. Blah
Obviously,
blah
you were
blah.
listening while jacking off or something,
Uh,
because you didn't listen to what Cornette was actually saying about the wrestling. It's not believable. Any fucking idiot can come and jump through freaking glass and
hmm
say, "Oh, I'm gonna go now climb Mount Everest." You're a freaking idiot.
Luckily, he broke his foot. Now he can't do it, but
Right.
he managed to break his foot right before he did it. So that's the universe telling you that you shouldn't climb Mount Everest. I mean, when you break your foot right before you want to do your attempt, so it's like, but he'll
See,
do it
guys like
anyways.
this piss me off because, they say, well, Cornette is body shaming and racist. Oh, go fuck
hmm
yourself. Seriously, go fuck yourself, because you are an idiot. You just want to say words and put them together and hope something will stick. First of all, he doesn't body shame. He just tells the truth. A 95-pound girl who looks like a Japanese schoolgirl cannot be believed to face a 250-pound girl named what's her name? Akada? What the heck's her name?
Um,
I'm sorry, I forgot. Anyway, she literally almost hurt these girls. She's
hmm
95 fucking pounds. Put some fucking meat on her bones and then we'll fucking talk.
yeah, and it's hard. While it was hard to stomach to continue body shaming racist comments by Cornette himself, I came to one conclusion. And by the way, what racist comments that he's talking about with Cornette? I listen to him regularly. I don't hear racist comments from him.
I mean, for heaven's sake, he talks about Ernie Ladd, and he was talking
Yeah,
about Thunderbolt Patterson, who was going into the Hall of Fame,
yeah, he's
who
going.
he literally said he could put asses in seats because of the way he talked. He talked to the fans.
hmm
He was able to, talk them into the building. Maybe his wrestling was the shits, but I mean, he was able to talk things, people into the building, like Dusty, like Junkyard Dog.
Junkyard
um,
dog. Yeah,
you know, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. If you're talking
yeah.
about the racism towards Asian people, first of all, put some fucking meat on these girls' bones and then stop dressing them like fucking little schoolgirls who don't belong in wrestling. If that's
hmm
your thing, go to fucking Japan for that. But this is American wrestling, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
the Japanese wrestling. I mean, he talks about it here, but simply calling a segment bad without context isn't the same as good faith criticism.
No, he
Pointing
gives
out,
context.
yeah, they do, but allegedly they don't. Pointing out TV ratings drop without context of the modern industry. Both WWE and AW dipped in ratings over the years is bad faith.
That doesn't need context. When you are
hmm
literally just giving the TV ratings for that show, that are facts. They are called facts. I'm sorry that
hmm
word hurts your little fucking feelings, but facts are facts. They are
hmm
not opinionated, and they're not based on context. You fucking idiot.
Simply not liking something or not understanding something and then complaining about it isn't helpful. So, yeah, WWE has dropped in ratings from the 90s. That's true. There, I think Raw last week got 1.6 million, but that's more than AEW. A lot more.
Right.
That's double their
Well, the
ratings. So,
AEW is just shit. It's
yeah.
shit. That's why people go, huh, I'd rather watch something else. That's why they're losing ratings. And
Yep.
that's why I get pissed off about this shit, because literally they don't know what the fucking hell they're talking about. They're like, oh, well, their opinion comes with, yeah, when shit is the shits, like John Moxley, when he's
Oh God.
backstage with fucking Jericho and
He,
fucking Hook, who's never gonna fucking come as
morons.
a wrestler because Hook is what, 100 pounds?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
morons. Then. what was I gonna say? Something
I'm sorry, go
about
ahead.
I don't remember,
You
but
need
I'll
to
think of
yell
it.
and ramp and rave like I
Yeah.
did. Oops.
What could the product be doing better? How offer booking alternatives, the way they can improve, cool ideas. Don't just sit there and say what amounts I don't like it and move on. But they do, or at least Cornette does. They offer booking ideas, and
Yes.
but
That's why he says lazy booking, because you literally had 2 fucking referees who were there for no rules. They didn't have any fucking rules and you had 2 referees for that? You're an idiot.
yeah, AEW referees are so terrible that hell they even made a storyline out of it when they first started. Like, hey, our referees are terrible. Here's a storyline about it. It's like that's not it's ridiculous
And
that
they were
Tony Khan
talking
would book
about
that.
yeah, they were talking about the storyline of, WWE where they literally did stuff in front of the ref, and the ref didn't do fucking anything. Well, then why have the referee out there? Stupid.
Yeah, I mean WWE does that occasionally, but AEW is definitely much more guilty of that.
And
Yeah, I
trust
mean,
me, Jim Cornette could come up with a whole lot of better shit, and don't tell me that he didn't. He ran
hmm
OVW and, what was his,
Smoky
territory?
Mountain.
Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
hmm
You know, the only reason why those failed, fucker, is because literally, the WWE had a better product at the time,
hmm
and
Raw
they were taking all their talent.
WWE is hot right now, and I can barely watch Raw. I mean, it's brutal. It's a 3 hour show. Hell, and I watch a lot more modern wrestling, and it's brutal. I cannot get through Raw. It's
Well,
the only.
to I know we had talked about this last week, but Jim Cornette was not for The Rock. Well, no, Jim Cornette was for it. Brian
It's
Last
Brian.
hated
Yeah,
it.
yeah. The Rock. I mean,
Yeah,
Cornette knows The Rock, and that's why he's much
he
more
was doing a
nicer.
comedy bit. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
but it comes a time where you're just like, Rock, enough. This is bullshit.
His promo last week with the singing was awful. I mean, it was just contrived, and somebody clearly wrote it for him. It was awkward. I
Yeah.
didn't like that promo. Neither did Greg, but I didn't. Let's see, blah blah blah. Offer booking alternatives and also making random sexist comments. Russo and Disco doesn't help the industry move forward either. I don't know about their sexist
What did
comments.
they
I don't
make a
really.
sexist comment about? That these
I
girls
don't
don't
know.
have any meat on their bones and they're
Yeah,
literally breaking their own necks
that's
trying to
my
get each
guess.
other over?
That's my guess because I don't really listen to them, so I can't really give an
Like, if this
opinion.
person would seriously, I would, like, yell at this person and be like, "How
Yeah,
fucking dumb are you?
he's a
Have
stupid
you ever
ass.
watched old wrestling? You know, where they actually did wrestle each other instead of sex dolls and nine-year-old girls?"
Yeah,
Jesus fucking
it's
Christ.
absurd. Body shaming wrestlers is inconstructive. Coming up with cute pet names for talents is something an 8-year-old might find amusing. Here's the thing, Cornette, and he's referring to Cornette there. Cornette's a heel, and he's an old school heel, and he knows that a lot all these AEW marks love Omega and Osprey and
Who
who
he
else he has
calls,
pet names for?
what does he call
Ostrich
Ostrich, yeah, but what does he
and
call Omega?
Twinkle Toes.
Toes McFingerbang.
And he
No, I
calls
think
him
those are funny because
yeah.
literally, Twinkle Toes, it means he's fucking gay. I
Mhm.
don't know if he's fucking gay, but he's a fucking pedophile.
Twinkle Toes McFingerband, he calls him, Olivier too, like Laurence Olivier.
Olivier, yep.
Yeah.
And then he has like Riho, he'll call um take a
Riho. Take a
take a
shit,
shit.
yeah, Takashita, but
I
it's
can't
he
even
calls
say
him
Takashita anymore because it looks literally
yeah.
like take a
It looks
shit.
like Take a shit. The first time Cornette saw him, I think it was on Rampage. This is when they're still reviewing Rampage, and
Yeah.
Cornette was like, "Read it in English, Brian. What did it say?" It said,
Take a shit.
"Take shit." It's like, "Take
Take
shit."
a shit.
As he started laughing, everybody started laughing.
It
I did too. Oh
really
shit,
does
yeah,
look like take a shit, you know, take
yeah.
a shit.
So yeah, I mean, those names are. He's an old school heel. He knows that's going to piss off these AEW fans, which is why obviously he's walking right into this trap with this. And let's see, cute pet
Look, if
names.
you can't take pet names, then I guess you should literally just put your little self in a safe space and not listen to wrestling podcasts. You
Yeah,
definitely wouldn't like mine, even though I talk about
especially
Curt Hennig, one of the greatest
yeah,
wrestlers to ever live, in my opinion, the greatest wrestler to ever live.
body shaming wrestlers. Blah blah blah.
Oh my
The
god.
booking sucks. Without insight is no different than an old man shaking his fist at the sky, stating, I don't get it, passing along that criticism isn't criticism, being a straight hypocrite about a dangerous spot when your own promotion has done worse spots in the past is not helpful. He's referring to
What?
Cornette again.
What are the spots that he did that were so fucking dangerous that literally Cornette couldn't handle it? He literally had Paul E smack him in the face with a phone. Idiot. I
Hmm.
don't see the fucking
He's
wrestlers doing that. All I see the wrestlers doing is fucking breaking their necks for nothing. Or going through fucking glass and getting themselves sued because they're fucking stupid.
Yeah, and and he's referring to Cornette, I guess, in Smoky Mountain. There was this one time where Jericho did like a really dangerous spot, and Cornette was like, "Don't do that again. Do it in a big show when it matters. You get color, and then the heels beat the shit out of you. You do
Yeah,
a
what's the
hot
point of
tag.
doing it on free TV when you should be doing it on
Yeah,
pay-per-view, you idiots?
yeah.
That's why
That's
you
what you
have
do.
a fucking pay-per-view,
That's
dumbass.
where you do your dangerous spots on
Right.
pay-per-view, make people pay for
Right.
it, you know? Or
Right.
in Smoky Mountain, at least, you do it in a big show, you know, and
Right.
that's the show, I think, where Jericho broke his arm trying to do a shooting star press,
Well,
and Cornette was
and
pissed at him.
yeah, Darby Allin broke his foot on free TV. You fucking idiots. You should have
Yeah.
broken your fucking foot or whatever on a fucking pay-per-view, you idiot. That's why you have
This
them.
They don't know, do you see that they know modern wrestling. This guy definitely does not know what wrestling actually is. When you're a grown man trying to troll a wrestling promoter for fake internet points, I'm looking at you, Bischoff. Can we call that constructive? Again, it's just ridiculous. Oh, here's Greg. Hold on, let me get him in here.
Hello.
Greg.
What's up?
I'm sorry, I'm saying F-bomb every other
Yeah,
thing, so
you're
you have to tell
fine. Steph.
everybody.
I'm
Yeah,
here for
I
it.
knew this would fire up.
I love it.
Uh,
I mean, y'all ain't wrong.
no, I know. Bischoff. Okay, there's a lack of understanding the modern wrestling industry and the modern fan, especially a misunderstanding of how modern fans watch wrestling. And the number of indies, New Japan, Stardom fans are bigger than they realize. But this old fart hasn't been left to a larger problem, a zombie apocalypse. He
In
explains
your
that,
own
but
fucking mind. What the hell
So
are
yeah,
you even talking about? A zombie apocalypse?
I
What the
don't
fuck does
think
that even mean?
I don't think the modern fan understands wrestling. I think he's got that backwards.
Yeah, I think they think it's all Circus Delay bullshit where they flip and do stupid stunts that they should be doing on pay-per-view instead of fucking free TV.
Oh,
all
100%.
right. Here's
They do
the
so
issue.
much shit for just no reason on like
Yeah,
Rampage. Like,
here's the
yeah,
issue they're not understanding.
I'm
No
joking.
Americans watch the Indies, New Japan, or Stardom. How many Americans
No.
actually watch that shit? Less than
I've
one
never
percent.
seen any of it.
I haven't either. Less than 1%. So basically,
I didn't know who Okada was until I watched AEW,
yeah,
You
and
I
know,
didn't
that
made
either.
it seem like a
to be
big
honest,
deal.
I think this article is literally just someone who literally hates all these people because they will never see wrestling as it is today. And that's fine. We're all allowed to have our own fucking opinions
Yeah,
about wrestling and what it should be. But literally, don't sit here and say, oh, well, if you're over the age of blah, 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 you're a fucking old fart who doesn't understand wrestling. No, we know what wrestling is, and this ain't fucking wrestling.
I mean,
This is not even entertainment.
Cornette's podcast gets more views than a lot of the AEW shows do. So I mean,
definitely
uh,
Rampage and Collision.
I don't feel like he's speaking to a large majority here. I feel like this guy's got to be younger than 25.
He has to be.
Yeah.
We talked about
You're
it. He's at
talking
least
to a
20.
bunch of fucking little marks or little piss
This
at
is
gay
like
people who literally just jack off to all this bullshit.
yeah, this
Yeah,
article is
it's
I
ridiculous,
can't
but I
believe
wanted to
Aaron
go
let
through
this
it.
go on his website.
Yeah, I'm
I-
surprised too. I mean, he seems to be he's pretty good. He's had this website for years, so
yeah, when I
mm,
saw you tweet that, I was like, Aaron, what the hell is this, man?
and it's
And then you
another
told
one
me it
he
was an
has, which is
opinion piece.
bad
I was
too.
like, ah, all
It's created a plethora of online fans who wish they feel so important that they will say anything for attention. A few are thinking for themselves, and most are
Projecting.
mindlessly parrot what others saying, mostly about AEW. Blah
I
blah
hate
blah.
that. I
There's
hate
no,
that they think we just can't think
yeah.
for ourselves. There's something
It's very
called agreeing with somebody.
yeah.
And
It's very fun.
sometimes people agree.
Yeah,
And sometimes people think and say the same things. It's
it's
not
very
because we write this shit down and then regurgitate it. It's like, no, it's like, yeah, I think that too. I'm gonna listen to this guy more because
it,
it's like you're preaching to the choir. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
It's
like
really this
And
piece
there's
is
a
really
larger
condescending.
audience for what Cornette's saying than there is for what AEW is doing. So,
It's so
And we're not looking at
condescending.
this like we can't, like we don't have brains in our
and we
skull.
want to like it.
Yeah, we want to like
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
but
I
they
do.
make it
I
so
did.
hard.
We watch it every week because
I've-
we want to see something that we like. But every week it's like, God damn it, not this.
Yeah, it's AEW's atrocious. Atrocious. I can't say the word right now.
atrocious.
Atrocious. Thank you. There are no stories, too many high spots. I don't know this wrestler.
And
Their
like I said, they have a
stories
95-pound
are like,
girl who literally has no meat on her bones, and we're supposed to believe that she can take on a 250-pound girl.
don't
No,
even
I'm
get me
sorry,
started
honey.
on freaking Riho.
Yeah, it fucking sucks, though.
Put
even
some meat on her
Mercedes,
fucking
even
bones.
Mercedes Moné towered over her in that backstage
Yes.
Mercedes.
Yes.
Mercedes
like,
moan.
that blew my mind because Mercedes is a very petite woman, and like she towered over Riho.
That's how small she is. She looks.
That,
I wouldn't.
I was like,
I wouldn't
wow,
have. But
she is really
if I
fucking
think
small.
Riho is a main eventer, which I don't, but let's say if I thought that, there's no way I booked that segment because Riho is like so much smaller. It's like it makes her look bad. But
yeah,
let's see.
I
Even the
can't.
shit.
I would if Cornette didn't exist, I would not like that match. Like
No.
No,
it's
I wouldn't like any
it
match
has
that
nothing to
new
do
stuff.
Awful.
Yeah.
podcasters. That
One
we
of the
listen
worst
to.
matches I've ever seen.
Have been
Honestly,
watching
I
this
think
shit
this
for
is
30
projection.
years, man.
This is
a lot of
projection
this is
on
projection.
older people because they can't for some reason they can't watch older wrestling, so they project all their bullshit about
There's a
older
lot
wrestling
of
onto
projection.
us. Yeah,
A lot of projection.
a lot of projection here.
They just can't stand that we don't like what they do. Like I don't care if they don't like what I like. Like
Yeah, that's
cool,
fine.
Doesn't
bro.
matter
Like,
to me.
you do you.
You know,
I'll do
watch
me.
your new
Like
shit.
we don't
I'll
like we
stick
can
with the
even
old
be
stuff.
friends. Like it's not like I don't understand.
Yeah,
They
it's
get
like
so offended. They're
it's
just
like
gatekeeping their company for.
Yeah, it's like these snowflakes. You know, if you need your little safe space, then go to your little safe space and
That's
jack
what the
off to
indie
this
shows
shit.
have become. They're little safe
Right.
spaces for all
They're
the
little safe
they're
spaces
weirdos.
for
They're-
freaking
they're
snowflakes.
far too embarrassing. Like that, I think I tagged you guys too. That guy that shoved the fluorescent
I
light
made a
tube
tweet
up their
about that.
ass and broke it.
Oh
I
God.
tagged Cornette because I can't wait to laugh at his response.
Yeah,
but
like
I'm sure that
literally.
they'll see it. They see
Like
it. They'll
that's why
they'll talk about
people
it.
get mad that I tag Cornette and Brian, and it's like, yeah, I want to hear what they're gonna say about it.
What they're gonna
gonna
say
be
about
fucking
it, right?
hilarious. Like
Yeah, because I
Especially
mean,
Cornette.
what the fuck?
I enjoy
Either
them
wrestle
making fun of
or
this
suck
stuff.
his dick and put your dick in his ass. But don't do this stupid shit with the light up the ass. What the fuck?
Light tube up the ass
For
and then
like
breaks it. Like
2
Yeah,
beers
what
and a
the
corn
fuck?
dog.
it's like
Either stick your dick in his ass or wrestle, boys.
Don't give
this
him
is
any
not
ideas,
what this is.
Steph. Don't give him any.
there's already Effie who
I was gonna
touches
say, where's
himself during the
Effie at?
matches.
He
Yeah,
is.
so
He is like the leader of the Misfits, kind of.
I'm
Him
shocked
and
Tony
Sapp.
Khan hasn't signed
Him
him.
and Sean Ross Sapp like enable these
Oh,
misfits to
Sapp
like
blocked
the
it, too.
degree that like everybody's racist, everybody's
Mhm.
sexist, everybody's homophobic. Like these words don't mean anything anymore because they're thrown out just for fuck's sake to like because you can't win
Right.
an argument.
Right.
It's like,
Sapp-
No,
you
I
used
agree.
to have to
And
do something or
they
say
have
something
stuff
really
for that
fucked
though.
up
It's called
to
fucking
be
gay
called
porn.
those things.
You want to
Yeah.
watch gay porn? Go watch gay porn. More
Like,
power
you-
to you. I don't give a fuck.
You
But
used to
this
have
is
to earn
wrestling.
those words, man. Now it's
Yeah.
just like
This is not gay porn. This is
Mhm.
fucking wrestling. If you
you
don't like it,
a Riho match,
then get
you're
out.
sexist, racist.
Heinous.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what the
No.
fuck? Like, okay.
Yeah, this is
no,
weird.
there are girl wrestlers that I actually respect. They're called
Hell
Cherry
yeah.
Martell and Rockin' Robin. And they
Yeah.
were bigger girls than this
Even
little
like the new
fucking
ones,
95-pound
like,
Riho.
fucking Rhea, Ripley, Charlotte, like Tiffany
Better
Stratton's looking
wrestlers.
really
They're
fucking
better.
good.
I mean,
Like,
they're definitely
Right.
better than what AEW is carrying around. There are
Well,
no
and Charlotte
stories.
Flair, in her defense, she is second generation.
Yeah.
yeah, Charlotte.
I don't
Flair's
know
a
this
great
wrestler.
woman heel.
A
Like
horde
an
of
old man.
zombies. They're basically calling us hordes of zombies. They can't deal with the fact that fans
Ugh.
like different wrestling. They do, even though that's definitely
Projecting.
projection.
Again,
That's definitely
yeah.
fucking projection.
You're projecting what you feel,
Yeah,
and
like,
you
I
can't
don't
think for
care that they
yourself.
like this
So you
stuff.
have to be in your little safe space,
Yeah,
and
good.
you have to be in, oh well, my wrestling's better. My wrestling's better. No, honey, it ain't.
Yeah.
And there's
That's
a lot
good.
more people
They
that
can
agree
like
with
Orange
us.
Cassidy all they want, like, but I'm gonna
Oh,
make
that
fun of
fucking
it at the
dude,
same
dude.
time.
Pockets. I'll pockets. He puts his hands in his
Like,
pockets
yeah,
and
like they
attacks
can like
people.
that stuff. I don't
A
get
little
mad that
puppy
they like it,
pockets.
but
That
don't
fucking
be
dude.
surprised when I make fun of it.
Fuck him.
Like,
As a huge fan of this guy, look, he's a huge fan of AEW Stardom, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and the Indies. I can't figure out why the following premise is so difficult to understand. Blah blah blah. There are enough AEW Indies Puro fans. I don't know what Puro is, but okay, out there that now to be successfully supporting number 2 promotion. No, there's not. No, they're fucking not. AEW is like, it's like they're dying. You know, if it wasn't for
Yeah, there's
Tony's
like
money, they'd be
literally
done.
they're lucky
um,
we watch and give them
Yeah.
that rating every week. Like,
yeah, but the thing is, what gets me the most is that, oh, well, they say ratings without context. No, they're just
Yeah.
fucking reporting the ratings, you idiot.
Yeah, the ratings.
I heard
mean,
one guy trying to like say, "Oh, AEW has way more than 800." He started like pirating views and overseas,
yeah,
and I'm
he
like,
went
bro,
to
American
yeah,
TV executives don't give a fuck about Fight TV
TV
subscriptions and pirated.
epic.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
that hey,
that's the level of cope that they're
like
like,
hey,
I just can't do
That's
it.
literally
I
what
can't
it is.
cope.
It's cope.
yeah, it's like
And then,
hey, it got at most they get over 1 million views if they count Fight TV and all these other subscriptions in Europe and pirated episodes. You know, that's over 1 million though.
tell
It's
that
like
to Warner Brother Discovery
they don't
executives
give a
who
shit.
are about to go bankrupt because
They're
their
They're
about to
about
go
stock
to go
price is
bankrupt.
bankrupt.
like
That's right.
They
$6.
They
they're
gotta be losing money like $1 million
Tony
every
Khan's gonna have to
fucking
buy
episode.
Warner Brothers Discovery to get a TV deal
yeah,
at this
we
point.
said that last week.
Right.
It's like
Because
he's gonna
like
make
the NBA is gonna get all the money. Like that's the
right.
only
Warner
thing that
Brothers
brings that
Discovery.
channel right.
They're gonna pay the NBA.
Yeah,
They're gonna
of course.
renew the NBA and double their TV rights
If
fees
they
or
lose the
whatever.
NBA, they might as well just
Yeah, they file for bankruptcy at that
just
point.
start
There's
airing
no,
Family Guy episodes
yeah,
like MTV does ridiculousness.
yeah, that's absurd. How much they air ridiculousness, but yeah, Tony Khan is betting on Warner Brothers Discovery doubling or tripling his TV rights fees, and for those ratings, that's not gonna happen.
That's wishful
What the
thinking,
hell is he
man.
even
I
talking
don't
about?
see it.
Yeah, for those ratings that the AEW
He's
gets,
just
there's
making
no,
stuff up now.
Like they could literally run reruns of Big Bang Theory and get that number.
and that makes
and
more
would
money.
get
And they
higher
already
ratings
own
than
they
what
already
they
own
got.
that. They don't have to pay for that.
Yeah,
Like
this guy's just
Yeah.
making shit
they're
up
not
now.
popping a rating that literally any other programming wouldn't pop. Like, just, like
We
it's
like,
average. It's
yeah,
800K.
we like a different style of pro wrestling where stories are told differently than the casual fans are conditioned to.
They're not
No,
stories.
they're not stories,
They're not
moron.
stories.
They're
There's no story
elementary level
there.
stories that
Yeah.
end in a week.
I can tell
It's
you a better
Like the
story,
Eddie
and I'm not
Kingston
even a
Okada
fucking writer.
story, like that was over in a week. Like okay,
I
moving on.
pointed out that title change should have happened on a pay-per-view with more build. People are like,
Right.
"Oh
Yeah,
well,
bro. 1 week, 1 week
uh,
story. Okada pins Kingston.
the
Match.
next pay-per-view is
Okada
like an
pins
end of
Kingston. New champ.
next pay-per-view is like in 8 weeks. Is AEW
No, it's
Dynasty or
like in
whatever it
2
is?
weeks, I think.
Right. Even when
Oh no,
WCW was going
it's
bad,
in
they
mid-April,
had
I
better
think.
storylines
Yeah,
than this fucking shit.
In
it's like
mid-April.
you had 8 weeks of build. All you had to do is instead they Tony Khan switched the title like that for no
Yeah, this
reason.
guy's just making shit up.
That's why I'm mad, and I was like, oh, but Tony Khan changed the title for no reason. Oh no, there was a reason. The story went back to Japan or something. I'm like, again, I don't watch that shit.
Yeah.
Well, why would you make it for going back to Japan anyway? Nobody fucking watches that shit.
Because Tony Khan and his little buddies expect that you follow the story from Japan when they had their matches, which is ridiculous.
This chick blocked me, and I've never even interacted.
Oh, she blocked me too.
I didn't know she existed. I've never seen her tweets.
I saw her tweet. I responded.
I think I'm on a blacklist of all the Fightful employees because I don't see any of their tweets, and I think it's because I'm blocked by all of them.
Yeah, a lot of them blocked me too.
Memorandum from Sean
Consider
Ross
yourselves lucky.
Sean Ross Fat blocked me too a long time ago because I'm not sure what it was. Again, I don't
so
remember.
Many DMs of him just fucking having a conniption fit in my fucking inbox because I said Billy Body would have beat him in a fight.
And look, she's got a fucking LGBT flag in her little fucking thing there.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna mention.
You know what, Molly? Stick to eating pussy because that's all you got, baby.
If I had to pick out of the two, I'm definitely at least Billy
Stick
keeps
to
it
doing
real.
that,
You
honey.
may not like Billy, but at least he's fucking real.
Yeah,
he owns all his shit.
Yeah,
he's a heel.
Instead of leaving this be, many zombies have instead parroted their favorite podcaster's influence who don't understand that premise, blah, 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 have come after AW fans
I
like
understand
myself.
it.
Simply like for liking a form of professional wrestling, this is the tweets, whatever, and make blah, blah, blah. Then to go on, I've been bullied online before for stating my opinions. Yesterday's the first time, blah, blah, blah. You know, she's mad because she's being bullied allegedly over her opinions on wrestling.
Welcome to Twitter.
Yeah.
Welcome to Twitter, you freaking
I get
cunt.
bullied for every single tweet I make.
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
just
not
skipped
crying
through most
about
of
it
that.
for attention.
Right, and I've been told that
and it's
somehow
by
I'm
y'all's fan. It's probably by a lot of Fightful
to my own
subscribers.
sex, that I'm a sexist that talks down to women. I'm like, I am a woman, you fucking idiot.
We just tell her she's wrong. Like that's all we're telling her. Like you're wrong.
You're wrong.
We get called every
and
name
you're
of
the
the
one
book
who's projecting
for
onto
saying
us
we
and
don't
saying,
like,
"Oh, you're bullying me."
Rio.
Baby, stick to eating pussy because you cannot talk about wrestling in any serious context. All you have is that you like these little tiny girls who can't fucking wrestle and need meat on their bones, and it's not believable. I could literally go in there and beat the shit out of Rio and literally come out the winner. And I've never been to a wrestling school, and of course, neither has Rio.
Wrestling tribalism is one thing, but the people who follow the three men I mentioned yesterday and exist a whole nother level, blah blah. So yeah, she's mentioning Cornette and Bischoff and somebody else there. When your podcast recorded in the gutter, it'll attract gutter rats. It's not just the desperate blue marks either, known as anti-AW influencers, do nothing but help the industry overall and contribute to the toxic environment. Just go for many anti-WWE influencers.
I feel like I'm living in backwards worlds.
Yeah, if you can't take the heat, baby, get out of the kitchen. Because I hate to break this to you, but there's a whole lot of wrestlers who are actual wrestlers more than the stupid entertainers that they call them today.
When I criticize WWE, I never get the backlash that I get from when I criticize AEW.
No, neither do
it's like a bunch of snowflakes.
Honestly,
right.
Most of the WWE fans are willing to have a discussion about what I'm saying.
Right.
The AEW fans, probably 90% of them will just start calling you every name in the book. So like when I read that, I'm just like, you would never make it on the other side, honey.
The thing with Stevie Richards is he's actually showing how they do the moves. Now, I have watched some of his podcasts, and it's literally he's going through like these moves.
He's right.
Like he did Curt's knee lift. He did Brett's elbow.
The elbow from the second rope.
Yeah. He actually shows veterans.
Yeah, this
people who know how to fucking wrestle. He's showing you how to do their moves, idiots.
Yeah, it's
AEW copyright striked him.
Yeah,
they've done it.
Don Stevens.
Yeah.
Aubrey Stevens.
And he got bullshit because of that. So don't even sit here and say, "Oh, well, Stevie Richards, blah blah blah." Yeah, Stevie Richards is actually telling people how to do the moves.
Yeah, Bully
for any other wrestlers who want to become wrestlers. I mean, real wrestlers, not just these fucking entertainer indie darlings.
Yeah. Bully Ray is an example of a veteran who actually understands how the business is evolved and will give solid criticism either direction. He's not mean about it. Doesn't seem to favor one brand.
Heard this. What does he suck the dick of every fucking entertainer today?
He hosts the Busted Open radio show with La Greca and Mark Henry. I think is on there occasionally. So that's what he's talking about.
Oh, I never even heard of this person.
I've seen Bully Ray bury.
He's Bubba Ray Dudley from WWE. You've seen him.
Oh,
I'm sure.
Bubba, like Bubba Ray Dudley.
Yeah.
He's called Bully Ray now since he
has copyright.
He even understands that he's watched AEW in different light as they're an alternative. A conditioned casual fan would not see AEW the same way as see WWE. Steven Richards and Maven are also a good example of veterans who aren't toxic in their comments or presentation. I enjoy watching their content.
Video down?
Especially
why
with Stevie.
Did they get all sorry. Why did they get all butthurt? Because he was actually showing people how to do moves.
And safely moves. To do them safely.
And do them safely, right?
AEW knows
veterans like Bret Hart, and he explained how how Goldberg screwed the Bret Hart match up, but because Bret was already hurt, and Goldberg didn't pick up on
That
the signs and signals. He kept
I was
going.
pissed. That motherfucker mule kicked Bret Hart for real and ended
Yeah.
his career basically.
Right.
After he dropped
So I
him on
hope you
his
say to
head in the
Goldberg
figure
after
Right
that.
four
after he
spot.
dropped him on his head, they should have stopped the match,
Mhm.
but they kept on fucking going. And
Then he just finished him, man. Ended his
Yeah.
career with one kick.
He ended that mule kick. I mean, and then he would then Brett to this day has not gotten an apology from Goldberg. I mean, even he
No, and
keeps
he never
saying it.
will.
Yeah,
He says
scumbag.
everything but an apology.
Yeah,
Like
he,
he'll dance around the word "I'm sorry," but he'll never say "I'm
yeah,
sorry."
he's honest
Because
and non-toxic.
Goldberg believed his own hype, and he's just like one of these indie
Yes.
darlings. He, because of his streak going on so long, he literally went up to Bischoff and said, "Bischoff, would Goldberg actually lose a match to Scott Steiner?" Oh, go fuck
Yes.
yourself, dude. Scott Steiner
Yeah,
could
he
beat your
definitely
ass
became a mark
Yeah.
for
in a real
himself.
fucking fight.
Yes.
Scott Steiner could beat your ass.
And if I were Bischoff, I would say yes, and here's why. Scott Steiner is an amateur wrestler. He went to the University of Michigan. He would have kicked your ass for real.
He would have
Okay,
kicked
so
your ass in a real fight. So when
yeah,
if Curt
Chris Jericho kicked
and
Bill
Brett too,
Goldberg's ass.
Chris Jericho
Yeah.
kicked his ass. Is like, damn,
Oh,
for
dude.
yeah, I got my
real,
money
yeah, I
on,
heard about
Big
that fight,
Papa
and I don't
Pump.
even like Chris Jericho,
Even
and I was
before
like,
the
yes.
steroids, I got my money on Big Papa Pump.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
right.
it's ridiculous. There's no way that he is like, yes, he would have lost the fucking match. So do
I
the
saw him in
job
the
and stop
airport
complaining.
when I was in 8th grade in the Detroit, Michigan airport. Scott Steiner, and he was a heel, and I
Oh.
knew he was a heel, so I just kind of like
Was he
Avoided
big,
looked at him.
big Papa Pump at the time?
Yeah, I was like, that's the only time I've ever seen a professional wrestler, and of course it was at the airport.
And yeah, and furthermore, the veterans that are actually working in the company: Jerry Lynn, Dean Malenko, Sarah Stock. I don't know who that is. Billy Kidman, Molly Holly, Jamie Noble,
Kidman's
etc.
there?
I think Kidman is in
Molly Holly's
AEW.
dead. Her
I had
No,
problems
no
are
Molly's
over.
idea Kidman was in AEW.
yeah, Kidman worked for
Kidman
AEW.
was also in WCW.
Yeah, they are veterans that pro wrestlers are listening to because
They're
they're getting
definitely not
paid
listening to him.
by AEW
They
and
ain't listening
WWE.
to him.
They're not AEW guys are not listening to these veterans.
That's bad faith right there.
Yeah.
Pretending that these
That's
guys
literally,
listen
yeah,
to
he's just
any
making
of
In
shit
those
up
fact,
guys.
now.
it was fucking Hangnail that said, "I don't listen to the veterans. I know what I'm doing."
Yeah, and he's one of the leaders in the locker room, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure
he's
other
fucking
guys are
Hangnail was
just
saying
taking
that.
his advice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck that dude.
I can't
Yeah.
believe he just wrote that.
Yeah, he that's bad faith because he said, "Oh, they're listening to the veterans." Maybe in
No, they're not.
WWE.
First of all,
not
Molly
in
Holly
AEW.
is dead, isn't she?
No,
No.
she's still alive.
No.
Oh, I thought she self-deleted.
Crash
No.
Holly died, but he
Crash
didn't.
Holly,
So
yeah.
It was
he
Crash.
died of
Yeah.
Crash Holly's Crash Holly.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought she self-deleted because she
No, it was
overdosed.
no. She's still alive. Pro wrestling is in a boom period right now. WWE is hot and AEW is heating up. No, they're not. WWE
No, they're
is
not.
hot. That's definitely true, but not AEW.
Bro, this guy's
That's
just
because of the
making
Cody
shit
thing.
up to like forward
And The
his
Rock.
narrative.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
none of this stuff is true.
WWE
Like,
is
even the
definitely
like even
Again,
the
when you sit
subjective
there
stuff.
and you jack off
You-
to this shit,
You could talk
you
about
can make up
Cornette and all
anything.
that stuff, but that's just objectively not true.
that's not true at all. Because AEW is not heating up. I think he's his excuse like, oh well, they sold out Greensboro for Sting's last
The
match,
dirt
and
sheets like the shows, so it's heating up.
they sold out. Who else they sold out? Boston, pretty much for its Sasha
Yeah.
Banks debut.
They're doing
And
a 3,000 seat arena on Wednesday. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and
back
that's
to
not-
regular business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's bullshit.
Which is honestly smart.
it's
on their
bullshit.
part. They needed to stop doing.
Yeah,
that
I agree. It's
because it was
smart, but
embarrassing. But yeah, to pretend that they're like
it's
because
smart,
That
but
they're
that's not
heating up.
heating up, and they have to
Yeah.
book a 3,000 seat
not
stadium.
heating up.
What the hell?
No, that's literally you're about to go bankrupt. That was
Yeah.
like WCW in 2001.
Yeah, they had to fucking book these small arenas too.
Yeah,
If these bad faith podcasters were right, then wouldn't
They
the
are.
opposite be true? Wouldn't proof in the pudding? All these terrible wrestling lead to poor revenue and bad ratings. It is leading to
they
poor
are.
revenue and
Dude,
bad
what the
They
ratings.
do have bad
What
ratings.
the
You
fuck,
fucking
man?
idiots.
This is pissing me
That's
off.
ridiculous.
Are you
It's
serious?
absurd.
I could see why this
They
article
lose
made me so
100,000
mad.
people every fucking time in AEW. Don't sit here and tell me they don't have bad ratings.
Oh my
Fucking
goodness.
the Big Bang Theory gets bigger ratings than this fucking shit, and the Big Bang Theory hasn't been on for years
Yeah.
in prime time. They're fucking reruns.
Man, I might
boy.
have to freaking at Aaron
Jesus
again.
fucking
I didn't read down to this part. This is
Yeah.
this is mind-boggling.
It's
that he
it's
put
worse.
this
It
on
gets
his
worse.
website.
Because
my
it's like
God.
all this terrible wrestling lead to poor ratings and poor revenue. Yes. And
Yeah, they're losing $1 million.
Brandon I think Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics estimated they lost $35 million last year. AEW.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not
and
good,
he's
dude.
pretty knowledgeable when it comes to this.
That's
Yeah.
literally you're losing, and literally Tony Khan is a millionaire, and his dad's a millionaire too. So they're just
Billionaire.
throwing money at this
Billionaire.
stupid shit.
Mhm.
But they don't know how to do an ongoing, long-term wrestling promotion. They're just throwing fucking money out the window or into the toilet.
There's no episodic storytelling. If it is, it's just one episode.
Even WCW could get this shit right, and they went out of business in 2001.
they
before
We'd
went
this
still be
bankrupt.
watching
bullshit-
WCW if Tony Khan owned that company. I
right
believe.
before
Yeah,
this
they'd
fucking
still
mark
be
was even
around.
born. I bet.
Hell, Bischoff tried to buy WCW, but
Yeah, they fucked Bischoff. They were gonna do a pay-per-view, I think. What was it called? The
The-
Big Bang, ironically.
yeah, the
It was
Big
called
Bang.
Big Bang, right?
Yeah, the first
Pay-per-view they were
Bischoff
gonna
planned the
do.
pay-per-view called the Big Bang when he bought the company.
When Kurt
Yeah, when
went
they were
off in
planning on buying the
2000, I
company,
stopped
yeah.
watching.
Yeah,
Which I thought that would have been cool. I would have liked to have seen that happen in hindsight.
yeah.
I would have loved if Bischoff could have bought it, but unfortunately, that's not what happened.
Because I liked a lot of the wrestlers in WCW, even when it went under. But WWE is just a better product, and had to pick one of the two. You're gonna go with WWE because it's not like we had all these options. It was one or the other.
Yet WWE is breaking record revenues and selling at arenas, true. And AEW saw jumps in tickets, pay-per-view buys, and overall company revenue in 2023. Based on what?
Yeah, when it's fucking $50 a fucking pop.
I'll give AEW credit; they do surprisingly
It's good for rich people who have $50 fucking dollars to throw away every fucking month.
I don't know how long that's gonna last because they're adding more and more every year, but they do fairly good numbers, even compared to
it's a mistake.
The 2000s.
It's a mistake to do it. Tony's making a mistake by going once a month because he had 6 years.
I don't think it's his choice, bro. I think they need the freaking money. I wouldn't be surprised if Warner Brothers is like a partner, and they're like, yeah, you need to add more pay-per-views because this other stuff ain't cutting it. So I don't think it's his choice.
Yeah, maybe it's not his choice, but it's a mistake. These fans, they only have so much money. I mean, they can't pay $50 a month for a pay-per-view.
No, that's why I couldn't do that, and I'm not going
Meltzer
to.
better be right.
I could just watch this stupid shit on fucking YouTube later if I wanted to for fucking free. Because it ain't worth $50. I wouldn't spend 2 cents on this shit.
They used to show them in the movie theaters for like $20.
Really?
I thought that was actually fun. I used to take my girlfriend, but they stopped doing it.
Yeah,
we go to the movies and watch the pay-per-view for $20 and get some popcorn and
Yeah, that was because I think the issue was copyright of the music. That's what at least the claim was. That's why I stopped doing pay-per-views in movie theaters.
I never got an answer about that. I've asked too on Twitter.
Yeah, it's a copyrighted music or something. That was the issue. Really? So they couldn't, pay extra. Tony Khan cheaped out on that for some reason.
Those were during the CM Punk MJF. Yeah. So even my girlfriend.
Like, around that time, they would do it. And the key word here is revenue. Increased revenue. Not profit. There's no profit in AEW. That's why he can't even say it's profitable. It's increased revenue. It doesn't mean anything. It's like, you increase your revenue, but you're spending more.
He lost less money this year.
Yeah.
Okay, so he lost less money. Whoopee.
But you wouldn't believe it.
He's still losing money.
Wrestling has evolved to get used to it. Fucking asshole.
No, I'm not going to get used to it when it should have been what it should have been. Why couldn't they just keep the wrestling they had in the fucking 90s when it was the most popular? Stupid.
He quotes Hangnail here. He says, I hope that when I'm old and retired, I don't lower myself to have shit-ass podcasts where I trash younger generation.
Guy that listens to veterans.
Trust me. You're not going to like my podcast then.
Wrestling has afforded me.
And you're not even a fucking wrestler, Adam Page. You are not a wrestler, and you're not an entertainer.
He got a golden ticket from Tony Khan. He's lucky.
Yeah, him and the elite. Him and the entire elite got that.
He should be fortunate that some mark was willing to give him whatever he gave him.
That's right.
So to be
you better get on your knees and blow someone because you ain't a wrestler.
Yeah.
No.
Wrestling has evolved. Even spots you normally wouldn't see on WWE television are done more frequently due to AEW's influence, and that's the problem.
That's the problem.
I've seen it on WWE TV.
I'm tired of seeing Shawn Michaels' finisher being used as a fucking transition spot.
It's a transition
Or
spot
Kevin
now.
Owens doing Stone Cold's finish.
Yeah, I don't
Get your
like
own
that either.
fucking finishes,
I
boys.
don't like
It's
that
not
either.
that fucking hard.
And like
Allegedly,
Jake the Snake's DDT, dead spot.
Good
oh,
thing that no one
he
does a perfect plex.
he talks about
Yeah, they
DDT
say
down
that.
I
here.
wouldn't
I'll
mind
get
if
to that in a
Curtis
minute.
Axel did it, but I mean, the thing is, if you're gonna take these legends finishers, at least fucking do something with them because they're kicking out of everything anyway.
Yeah,
They're gonna kick out all
allegedly,
these fucking finishers.
Yeah.
Then why even have finishers?
allegedly, Stone Cold gave Kevin Owens permission to use the stunner, but I
At
don't know
Really?
how
least
true
he
that is.
asked, you know what I mean?
Yeah, at least he asked. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't
Wrestling
like
has
it.
evolved, blah, blah, blah. Athletes are bigger, faster, stronger, can do more than
No,
their
they're not.
counterparts a decade
They
ago.
Look at Hook.
Adam Cole is not bigger, faster, and stronger than any.
No,
No.
he's not.
The
He's like a
90s.
little. I'm bigger than Adam Cole.
I'm bigger than Adam Cole.
And my rule is, if I'm bigger than you, I can't take you seriously as a wrestler, unless it's
There's
like Rey Mysterio or something like that. There's
There's
some
like
examples.
5
but-
wrestlers.
Well,
in
that's
all of
because he
AEW
was
that
in-
are like the size of.
Yeah, he was the the luchas before the luchas were, bullshit. But everyone sort of kind of didn't believe that Rey Mysterio could be a wrestler only because
Yeah.
of when Kevin Nash threw him like a dart into the trailer. Then they
Yeah.
kind of lost
That-
respect for
that-
Rey Mysterio at that point.
Kevin Nash just tossed him in there like he was
I
some
remember, I was
kind of
watching
He
that
was
live. I
nothing.
remember that like
Yeah.
yesterday. I was like,
No,
oh, this is
he
good
gets to the-
TV.
He gets a DDT here. No, the DDT is not a finisher anymore.
Not
Much
anymore.
like running up the ball up the middle is largely ineffective in today's NFL. No,
It's
not
like
every
a
single.
bulldog.
Tell that to
Or like
Christian
a
McCaffrey.
pile driver.
Yeah,
Back in the territories, the pile driver was actually so much of a bad finish, like
Yeah, it was
a
banned.
cool
Yeah, it was
finisher,
banned.
but they would ban it because it would it's gonna hurt
Yeah,
somebody.
not everybody could do it right.
and
Right,
That
and
was,
not everyone could do it
like,
right. That's
that was
right.
A dangerous
Cornette-
move if somebody didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah,
Right.
Cornette banned it in Smoky Mountain, and then the heels would do it behind the referee's back to draw
Right.
heat.
See,
Right.
that's
That's-
good storytelling.
Yeah.
But
Because
that's
he probably
also
he probably knew
that's
those
good
guys could do
storytelling
it.
and getting
Yeah.
heat.
He probably
People
knew
have
those guys
forgotten
could
how
do
to
it.
get heat. You don't know how to get heat anymore. When Curt Hennig slammed the cage door on Ric Flair's head in Charlotte, North Carolina, that's called getting heat, boys.
Mhm.
Nowadays, the
learn
crowd
from
would
these
cheer that
people.
though. That's the problem. They like Swerve broke into somebody's house and they cheered him next week on TV. So
It's
it's like the
ridiculous.
psychology's all fucked up with these.
And
fans.
honestly, that storyline was kind of racist because 2 black guys breaking into a house, basically
and
saying,
you remember the finish of the match?
No.
He
No.
hung him he hung Hangman with a
Yeah.
chain.
yeah, it was
Oh,
kind of
right,
it was
Imagine,
pretty
right.
racist.
Just imagine.
Yeah, imagine it was
What the
reversed,
fuck?
but no,
He hung
not.
him over the rope
This gets
for a couple.
worse. This gets worse. No, not every single move has to be laced in psychology.
Yeah, it does. Or
Yes,
otherwise,
it does.
why are
it
you
fucking
doing
does.
it?
But-
Yeah, why are you doing the move if
Yeah.
it hasn't? Kurt used to do a running snap mirror, and
That
then he would
sentence
put
makes me
people
so
into.
mad.
Yeah, like he would literally bring wrestlers up to the camera and say, is there someone at home you want to talk to? That's
Uh-huh.
psychology, people.
That sentence makes me so mad.
Sometimes you have to go out there and do cool shit. That's all. No psychology. Just do high
Any
spots.
fucking idiot can go through a plate of glass and
Yeah,
have his
maybe
back all
once a
cut up.
month on a pay-per-view. You know what I
That's-
mean?
Jesus
that's-
fucking Christ.
High spots are
sparingly.
for pay-per-views back in
Yeah,
the old days.
You can you can do it. You can throw Mankind off a Hell in the Cell, but not every week on TV.
If he
Right.
did that on Raw, that'd be like what the
going
fuck?
through
How
late,
stupid that is.
tables and ladders and
but
chairs.
Vince would have never let that happen.
No.
So, yeah.
No.
Any
if
fucking
it-
moron
yeah.
could go through a fucking table or a bunch of tables. They used to do it on ECW all the fucking time.
They just AEW just hot shots everything to where
Yeah, they
nothing means
hotshot a
anything
lot.
anymore.
And they do
Kind-
it way too much.
Kind of like the
It's been
modern
done.
NBA.
They step on
Yeah.
everything they do. Like if the main
Morons.
events like a no DQ match, they'll break a table in the first match of the. You know what I
Roman-
mean? Like they step
Mhm.
on everything they do.
Yeah, there was a funny story. Roman Reigns nixed a table spot because his Nia Jax was going to do a table spot. And he's
Yep.
like, no, I mean, you can't do a table spot, so I'm going to do it at the end of the
I
show.
guarantee you, somebody older than him told him to say that. Somebody.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. Yeah.
Because
I
that
wouldn't be
was like
surprised,
that was the rules in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah, don't-
like
Yeah.
You don't step on the main event spot.
Yeah.
You don't
Right.
step on the main
So,
event
props
spot.
to Roman for still,
And Nia Jax got
caring
mad at
about being
him.
a
It's
professional
like, why?
wrestler.
I want
Oh
to be a
well.
table spot. It's like, no, bitch. I'm the main event. You're
I
not
do
doing no
remember that.
goddamn table spot.
And that
I'm
makes
doing it.
sense. Like,
And
he's
that
not wrong.
makes
He's not
fans go
wrong at
away.
all for
Yeah.
demanding that.
Right. If they've already seen it in a lower card match, why the fuck would they want to
They
see
call
it in
you
the main
they
event?
call you sexist for saying that because you just
Yeah,
want
that's
women
Then
to
I'm a
do it.
sexist
Like, that would
against
be
my
the
own
response. That would be the response to what we just talked about. Like, oh, you're sexist.
Well, then
you
I guess
don't
I'm a
want the woman
sexist
to-
against my own
Yeah.
sex when
Yeah, it
I'm
makes
just
no
literally
sense.
trying
the
to
word
help.
doesn't mean anything anymore.
If you want some respect from the older fans, this is not the way to do it. Talk
Yeah.
down to your
He's
elders.
talking down to these
You
this
better
asshole.
respect your elders, bitch, because what
Hmm.
they're showing on TV right now is fucking bullshit.
The only wrestlers that are over right now are the only ones that still politic for themselves.
That's
Like, have you
right.
noticed that? Like,
Yeah.
Cody, Roman,
Cody, Roman,
Samoa Joe,
MJF.
MJF. Like, yeah,
And
they
here's the
all they
kicker.
don't just like, all right, whatever Tony
Most of
says,
those
we're
are
doing.
second
Like, Chris
generation.
Statlander, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go out there and get beat by Riho after
Most
I
of
beat
them-
Jade. Like, all right, yeah, I'm just happy to be
I'm
here.
gonna break my neck.
Like,
Roman
it's
is second
CM Punk. Like, it's not a
generation.
coincidence.
Jesus
The only
Christ.
guys that still have that old school mindset are the ones that are over in 2024.
That's right.
It's not the new
And why
guys.
are they
it's not
over?
the
Because they
guys
know
that this
and
guy's
respect the
talking
business.
about.
Mhm.
It's
And
the
they don't
guys
go
that
out there
still
and tell bullshit stories.
maintain a
Yeah.
level of kayfabe and respect
right.
to their elders, the people that came before them.
That's
They're
right.
the ones that are over right now.
Yeah.
They're
That's
the
right.
ones with belts.
NBA.
Yep.
Not
He's
fucking all
comparing
these
it.
flippy flop guys.
He's comparing evolving to the NBA and the NFL, and now he moves
the
on, kind
NBA
of like
sucks now too because it's just all 3-point shooters.
yes, he
and
says it, kind of like the
baseball
NBA
sucks
has
now 'cause it's
mastered
all
the
home runs and strikeouts. Like
yeah, he's
like,
mastered the art of the 3-pointer.
Yeah,
It's
man.
like
He's right. They all did change, and not for the better.
yeah, the NBA has changed. Now it's like there's no post,
No
there's no going in
defense.
the post, there's no defense. It's just
It's
And I
just
think that's
ISO. It's just
because
ISO ball.
yeah,
and I'd
it's
like to
garbage.
not think this, but I think a lot of sports, especially like the NFL, the NBA, you guys were talking about baseball last night.
Yeah, I did a
A lot
baseball
of that
too.
stuff has moved to the entertainment business. So they
Yeah.
don't take the two best teams in the NFL.
Did
It's
you
all
know the
rigged.
NFL is classified as entertainment and
Entertainment.
not a sport?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
it's not
classic.
the two best teams in the fucking leagues.
There's
It's
some
literally
smoke to
whoever
that
would
fire.
sell the most
Yeah.
tickets in the Super Bowl.
At that, I question the
Scripted,
legitimacy of the
maybe?
NFL.
Scripted NFL, maybe.
Right.
I
I
don't
question
know.
the
That's just a
legitimacy of
weird thing to
NFL.
like categorize
Yeah.
yourself as for like legal reasons.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. But yet you
Sports.
can bet on wrestling. You can bet on NFL. You can bet on the
Yeah, you can bet
NBL,
on you can bet on
MLB.
kids
Sorry.
playing video
Major League
games.
Baseball, yeah. Sports,
Yeah.
movies, TVs, books, and even the internet. They all evolve. In most cases, that means more flash, more speed, more violence, more shock. It's the nature of our own dopamine, how dopamine
Okay, but
baseline
most
changes with
movies and
level life.
TV is shit.
Like all this
Movies
stuff
suck
is
too.
bad.
Shit.
Like why
Movie
are
sucks
why are
too.
we
Yeah,
like
movies suck
welcoming
too.
this?
TV
Like we should
sucks.
be pushing back on all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what I used to watch, and this is the latest I've ever watched it, was Bones or Castle, and that shit's not even on
I
anymore.
remember
No.
those shows that came on Fox.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, I
I mean,
used to.
Bones
books
in
are
House.
books. Any fucking person can go out there and write a book, especially. I mean, they do it in politics all the time, and it's usually
Yeah.
just shit.
Movies, let's see, dopamine, same effect. You don't
I
have
mean,
to
the
like
only
it,
thing,
but
right? The only thing
yeah.
Yeah, we need
getting
more
awards right
dopamine.
now are fucking international movies.
Yeah, they're doing well, but they don't have to like it. At least you understand for what it is. Complaining does nothing to change it.
That's
We're
not true.
complaining because we
That
want
is
to
Yeah,
make
not
it
that's
true.
better.
Complaining
We
not
want
really
to make
change
it better. We're trying to make the product
If enough
better.
people
That way they can
complain,
sell
Yeah,
out
eventually.
arenas.
we don't get a Ghostbusters 2 with females in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, that
Or
was
Ghostbusters
awful.
3, yeah.
sometimes helps.
And complaining works. The WWE fans, when they went and
Yeah,
Cody got
look what they
kicked
do
out of
with
the main
Cody.
event, that
Yeah.
worked. I mean, eventually
That's
they
what I'm saying.
pivoted.
I don't know why
Yeah.
he's like welcoming all this stuff in when like he should be pushing back on it.
Yeah, they
Like that's the
pivoted.
problem. We're like, yeah, more dopamine, more
Mhm.
fucking CGI in movies, more, like no, like I miss practical
Well, he even admits
effects in
here.
movies.
My,
Like I
my
miss
all-time
like
favorite
the way
movie was
physics
made in
and stuff.
1995, and my all-time TV show was made in 93. But I don't
Yeah.
view modern media through the lens of the past. Yes, you fucking do. Yes, you
Yeah.
fucking
Mhm.
do.
You have? Yeah.
That's why you said your all-time favorite fucking movie was in 99 or 95, you idiot.
Yeah, it
I've
says it
watched
here.
80s and 90s movies just to like remember what it was like back
Yeah.
then and
Right. I love a lot
how
of
great it
80s
was,
movies.
how simple it
Oh, the
was.
80s
Like,
was like
yeah, man.
the 70s and the
Tango and
80s
Cash,
were
Howard the Duck, Overboard. All these were 80s movies and they were fucking great.
yeah.
The shit
Howard-
today
Howard-
can't
Howard
even
Duck.
win fucking awards because they're all shit. It's all
Mhm.
shit.
I just can't stand the CGI and all that stuff.
Oh, that's
Like
garbage.
I miss the practical effects in the movies.
There's been the movies from the 50s to the 80s seem slow and unexciting compared to modern times. No, it doesn't. I like the
Only if
movies from the
you're an
70s and 80s.
ADD like brain, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it doesn't
They
mean
don't
it
seem
was
slow to
good.
me. I
It's
guess
different now.
people just
Hey.
have short attention spans. No
If
offense to
Cornette
ADD
and Bischoff
people.
and Russo, if they want to bitch about the modern wrestling, they have a fucking First Amendment right to do so, you dumb motherfucker.
And they
Yeah,
have a
I've
right
been.
not to listen to it, and that's
That's
like
right.
Yeah, that's
We
fine.
all
can't
Yeah.
have
we
a
go
right
back to a
to
time?
complain about it because we're trying to make it fucking better
Yeah,
because
we're
it
trying
was
here.
good.
This is a clickbait article. He wrote this just to piss people like us off.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So
Exactly.
fuck him for it working.
Yeah, fuck
But
you.
I can't. This is such bad faith.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
so
it's
hard
And
to,
it's
bad
like,
faith.
made up
It's
it's so
terrible.
hard
bullshit.
to think that this guy genuinely
Claptrap,
feels this
trying
way.
to claptrap people back. Oh, well, you should like my modern wrestling because
I
I said so.
don't-
Go
I
fuck
just-
yourself.
I don't think any of these people genuinely feel this way. I think this is what the ether says we're supposed to feel like, and we just project that
Eggs.
so we get
Right.
like good boy
This
points.
is called thinking for
ridiculous.
yourself, honey bunny.
Like,
This
we're
is
on our
called
way to
thinking
like
for
a social
yourself
credit score
and
with
not
this
just
type
going
of shit,
along
man.
with what you say because you said it. I don't have to go along with what you fucking say. I don't have to
No.
believe like a
Fuck
fucking
'em.
sheep that the people are who like AEW. I don't have to be a fucking AEW sheep. Sorry.
Hags Hags like Cornette, Russo, Bischoff, and others are not caught up in
Oops.
modern times, and they never will. At least they tried. At least if they tried to watch modern wrestling through a different lens
do.
and commented within that context, I would give their opinion value. But they do.
They do.
At
They
least
watch it
Bischoff
every
and
single
Russo and
fucking week.
Cornette
And they
does.
speak fairly objectively. Like, it's not
Yeah.
like especially Bischoff. Bischoff just sticks to the facts, like, with his
Yeah.
stuff. And like,
And it
He's
pisses
Because
not
they
off
literally
wrong.
Conrad.
describe the scene. That's how I know
like
who Adam Hangnail Page is. And you know, some of these wrestlers, I'm like, I can't believe I don't even watch the fucking show. I just listen to Jim Cornette, and yet I know exactly what's going on. And by the
He
way,
paints a
do
good
not use
picture.
perfect.
Yeah, he
Do not
does.
use the word perfect in your fucking little
Have you ever
scamish.
seen those
article.
video clips where it's showing the footage of the match with Jim Cornette's analysis?
Yes.
Like, over the top.
I've seen
Oh
those.
no,
Spot
no, I
on.
haven't seen
It
that.
is. Sometimes I catch them. I don't know who's making them, but whoever
Yeah,
it
I
is,
would love to know who's making them.
Because Jim
Yeah.
Cornette is like spot on every spot.
Right.
And it's like, oh my god.
Right.
Like,
He
I should
watches.
start
he was
seeing that
like
because
doing commentary. Like,
But
it's
I
he
feel like I
watches-
still watch it, even though I only listen to Jim Cornette's,
Yeah.
you know, podcast. I didn't see the Rock's rock concert, but
It
it's
wasn't
funny
good.
because
It wasn't good.
The
Mhm.
promo after it was good, but the Rock concert was.
But
lame.
Jim liked
Yeah.
it, and Brian Last didn't. So I kind of feel like I did watch it in a sense.
Brian doesn't like the Rock's writer. He
No.
thinks he's corny.
Yeah, Brian Gewirtz.
So
yeah, he's
Brian,
And it was
Brian
corny.
is a little bit biased towards The Rock, I think.
yeah.
But I didn't
Well, I
like.
never
didn't
liked The
like
Rock either.
song.
Fuck that
I liked
dude.
the promo afterwards.
Jim Corn-
I thought the song was just like, here, Rock, here's the song. Go out there.
Right.
It's created a toxic fan of hoarders or toxic horde of followers who can't seem to properly ingest a modern product in a constructive and healthy
Because
manner.
it's not ingestible.
And it's
It's
good.
literally
It's good. I
shit.
mean,
This
it's
is like
ridiculous.
indoctrination.
And you're calling us childish when you're fucking projecting. And by the way, don't use the word perfect. Yes, there was perfect wrestling, you fucking idiot. Back in the
Yeah.
90s.
ingest
In the
modern
80s,
product
90s.
in a constructed. That's like
It-
some fucking Demolition Man talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. It's
It's like
ridiculous.
it's literally saying if you people don't think like I do, then there's something wrong with your brain. No, honey, there's something wrong with your brain. You need the fucking psychologist, you idiot. That you actually sit down and take this shit seriously. When there was kayfabe back in the day, when you actually did take wrestling seriously, you fucking moron.
That first sentence is like what a third grade teacher would tell you when you're like misbehaving during a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
You're
ridiculous.
acting like
Yeah,
a
he's
fucking little
condescending.
infant.
He's fucking condescending. There's a lot of modern pro wrestling, fantastic matches
This
in
is a
WWE.
little fucker who never heard the word no. Because as soon as he heard the word
AEW.
no, he was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna melt down." Go fuck yourself, dude.
WWE, AEW, Stardom, New Japan, DJPW, I don't know what that is, and New Japan, etc. So he spends all day and all night watching wrestling because there's no way I could watch all of this wrestling.
How does that? I mean, I can't even watch 3 hours of Raw. I don't know.
That's like I said, it's brutal. I can't. I skipped through
literally
most
And
of
I
have to
like
Raw.
watch old
WWE,
wrestling
but like
just
I
to
just
clear
can't
my
do all
palate.
3 hours. I gotta watch it on delay so I can.
I
fast
couldn't even
forward.
watch the Elimination Chamber without watching older wrestling to clear my palate. For fuck's
Steph
sake,
fast
Greg.
forward through most of the pay-per-view, so it's like
Yeah,
I
was
felt
like,
like I watched it out of spite.
skip.
I watched it out of
Yeah.
spite to myself because I made myself wake up early, so I was like, I'm gonna like it no matter
Yeah, I
what.
woke up
I
early
had to
too.
work. I
I'm
had to
gonna
work.
like
I
this
was
no
like,
matter what because I dedicated.
So we're
myself.
finally at the end of this
oh, Jesus
nonsense.
Christ.
You can aim to understand how the sports have changed, like Frank Gotch in 1913, and stick to the original point. There's too much head spinning and unnecessary gyrations in the modern product. And if you remain an old fart in the mindset, one day, like these podcasters and slow veterans, you will also become bitter, irrelevant wrestling fan long after they pass away.
We're not
And the sport of
bitter.
pro wrestling will live on without you. That's it.
Yeah, I'm
Finally.
sure it will. But that doesn't mean it's pro wrestling. It's literally shit. It's the shits.
Oh god, that article is.
That's it.
This person needs a fucking psychologist, someone who will literally tell him what
It took
reality
us-
is, because he
it-
does not live in reality.
The
took
sad
us
thing
an
is,
hour and a
Steph,
half
he's
to get
not the
through
only
that.
one. There's like an entire.
Oh, I know. There's a whole bunch
kids
of
that have
following
been
and stuff.
told they're great.
Yes, it's
They're
Yeah,
absurd.
told they're great. They never heard the word fucking no, and they can't understand why they literally get fired from every fucking job they've ever had. You know, go hit the rocks, you idiot, because you're a fucking asshole and you don't know anything.
I
I'm
can't
sorry,
top
guys.
that.
I'm
It's
sorry.
absurd.
Wow,
It's absurd.
that
I mean,
pissed
it's
me off like the whole Omega thing.
it took us an hour and a half to get to that article, but you know, I mean, we needed to respond to it, so I skipped through a lot of it too. I just went up and down.
Yeah, it was mind blowing. Some of this, like,
Yeah, I had
word
to
and
like
deed
look
was-
at it because
Greg,
I couldn't believe it.
are you younger than us or older than us?
I'll be 39 in October.
Yeah, a couple of years
Okay, I'll
older.
be 38 in April, so you'll be 38
Yeah, I was born in
too.
85.
In August. Yeah.
Okay, so you're actually
Yeah.
a little older than us, but I
How
mean,
old are
it's
you,
still the
Angel?
mindset.
37. I'm a
37.
few
Oh,
months
wow,
Yeah,
younger
okay.
than
I'm
Steph.
37. April 20th is my birthday. No lie.
I'm the
420 is my
old-timer.
birthday.
Oh yeah, double celebration.
Yeah,
I'm
but
That's
about
right.
to
You can
celebrate
smoke them
after
if you
this
got them, boys,
podcast.
because I don't smoke. But you know, I
No.
probably
But it's
should.
unbelievable.
I'm doing it even though it hurts. Like, it's not an enjoyable experience.
Yeah,
I wish
I'm
I had some
shocked.
gummies right now.
I'm shocked that this guy put together Bischoff and Russo and Cornette. They all hate
none
each
of those
other.
guys even like
Well,
each other.
Yeah,
well, and
yeah.
the one thing is,
The only thing they
Russo
have in
bitched
common is
about-
they criticize AEW. That's
That's all
yeah,
they
they
have in
criticize
common.
AEW, and that hurts his little feelings. So he has to go to his little safe space where, oh, my mommy told me that AEW was good. You know what? Go jack off to AEW because it ain't
Yeah,
real, boys.
That's what they do. They all jerk off to AEW and Japan, especially Japan. For some reason, Japan is like this godsend
Yeah, I don't
for
get that.
professional
I
wrestling.
think it's more so a fascination with Japanese culture because they also like the anime too.
Yeah,
And
a lot of these
Well, I
people
mean, I
like
like
anime.
anime. Yeah, I like anime, but that doesn't mean I
But they have
literally,
it all.
jack off
Like,
to it.
It's everything. Like, it's full on Japanese. Like,
I've even seen
fetishizing.
hentai, but that doesn't mean I watch it every fucking day and
What's
think it's the
that?
greatest thing. Think about it.
I have
It's
no idea what that is.
You don't know what hentai is?
I've heard the word before, but is it
Think
porn?
about yeah, American
Okay.
like
If
American
I had
porn.
to guess, yeah.
It's like cartoons now.
Man,
It's like
with
it's
all
like
that's out
anime,
there,
but
that's
they
their
go
choice.
a little they go X-rated.
Maybe in like third grade, maybe in like the 80s when you had to draw yourself.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Hey man,
I've seen it because my ex was into
to each their
hentai,
own.
so
To each their own.
Oh wow. So yeah, I mean that was that article. Absolutely
I'm
ridiculous
out of
and
touch with
absurd.
modern day porn.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, let's see what happened on Raw or SmackDown, AEW. I forgot this week. I mean, it's.
Mercedes cut a bad promo.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because she's the
Terrible
shit.
Eddie
promo. Yeah.
Kingston lost.
Oh yeah, that we talked about that earlier.
And of course, they
Jericho
had more
dropped hook on his face.
and hurt him because
I
he's
did
the
enjoy
shits.
the Christian Edge match. I did enjoy that,
I
but then
like
it
that
cut
match.
off. It cut off. They
Yeah.
overran their
I
time,
li-
and it cut
I
off.
like that match.
I wasn't much for
but
Edge or Christian,
but the issue with that
even
match
in
was
WWF.
the issue with that match was like halfway through it, they were in the crowd,
Ouch,
and for
sorry.
no reason they put on like hockey jerseys and
See, I
did a
popped
fake
for
hockey
that. I'm
fight.
not gonna lie, I kind of.
They did a
It
fake
was
hockey fight.
stupid, but
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, it makes
I didn't
sense
like
with
that. I was
what's
like, what the
going on.
fuck? They stopped the match to put on these jerseys and do a fake hockey fight. It's
They
ridiculous.
actually made the brawl look pretty good though.
No, to me, it
actually
looked
looked
like they were just
like-
doing this. You know, it's
Actually,
like
Sorry, I wasn't much
I
for Edge or
enjoyed it,
Christian.
but maybe I was just wanting to like something so bad on that show.
Yeah, I think you're.
This is good,
you're
right?
going a
Guys?
little
This
too
is
far.
good, right? This is good. So
they had
Nah,
a
we
fake
still love
hockey
ya.
fight, and the finish was ridiculous when Edge kept kicking him in the
that
balls for
was-
no reason.
Like that was again psychology completely fucking backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
you got
I mean,
the baby faces out there outnumbering.
He's kicking him
the
in the
heels,
balls, yeah.
handcuffing
yeah,
them,
he's
and it's
kicking
like,
in the
whatever.
balls and nothing's happening. Christian's
And
probably
then
not
he
selling it.
He had his Mick Foley ripoff thing,
Spike,
you know, with the
yeah.
spikes. Yeah.
Ah,
And then it's like then
I'm
he hit him
surprised
in
no
the
one
balls
brought
with
Mr.
that.
Sacco back.
Yeah, I can't believe they did
He
that
hit him in the
spot.
balls with that thing too.
I hope
That
he
spike
had.
thing.
I hope he had a lot of.
And it's like they're doing this
Yeah.
no sell, you know.
I think we lost Greg, but
He'll be back on in a
yeah, he'll be
sec.
back. Yeah.
But yeah, they do these no sells where they literally just get back up and they don't sell. Then get off of wrestling. If you're not going to
Yeah.
sell, get off of wrestling.
Yeah, that
Because
was
you're not
absurd.
wrestling.
And then it was an I quit match. And then the finish was he had the spike bat, did this. I quit. Please don't hurt me. It's like,
Oh,
and that's how he
God.
won the TNT championship, which looks like a fake belt. In
Oh,
fact,
jeez.
my mother was watching it, and she's like, "But is that the belt Edge is fighting for? That's the fakest belt I've ever seen." Even she's making fun of it because she's been a wrestling fan all her life too. So it's like,
Right.
that's the fakest looking belt I ever seen. Angel was like, "Why are you watching this shit?" I was like, "Oh well, I got a show, you know." And
Sorry about that.
you know,
Yeah, that's okay.
My girlfriend called and it knocked me off.
Oh, no. Honey, I'll call you back.
Yeah.
I'm on a podcast.
I'm
Yeah,
busy. Gosh.
I figured it was something. It's fine, but yeah, I
Talk to my
mean that was
friends about
ridiculous.
wrestling. Leave me alone.
And then they expected us to watch a third hour of Rampage. I'm like, I watched 10 minutes of it.
Even
There was
their even their fans won't even support Rampage. Like
Yeah,
300,000 people dipped.
Yeah.
immediately after
And
Rampage
they'll talk
came
about that on
But it's our
Cornette,
fault.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's all our fault. Their own fans can't even watch their damn show.
And then it's like they had a fake promo with Adam, at the Switch, late Jay
I
White,
did see
whatever his
Bruce
name
Robinson
is.
in the back, so that got me.
I
a
saw
little
something
excited.
on X that said it was
Mm.
Tony Khan playing with one of the other wrestlers, and it said above water was
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
yeah.
a good one.
Adam
Cornette retweeted
Page.
that. That's why
It was
Cornette
Edge.
retweeted
Edge
that.
was
Oh, it was
above
Edge.
water.
It was Edge, and then underwater was
Jay
the
White.
skeleton. It was Jay White.
Jay White.
That was
yeah.
so good because it's like
Jay
it's so
White-
true.
Jay
Like,
I
White
should have
was
reposted that.
Tony's got a
Yeah.
new toy.
Jay White was so hyped up when he first signed with AEW. It was
Yeah,
like,
he was
this
holding the
dude is
belt
a-
for like 2 months.
he was a
Exactly.
skinny white dude who looks like shit, and I was like, this is the guy you're hyping up as the next world champion.
I
He's-
enjoy watching Jay White's matches.
but he's not a world champion. You know, he this just
No,
isn't.
no. But the match.
I
that
mean,
they
even
had
if
with
he joins
FTR,
matches,
the tag
yeah.
team match with FTR was probably the best match.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
So Jay White, you know, he stole the belt from MJF, and somehow for a month or two he couldn't get
Yeah.
it back, which is ridiculous. But and then he loses clean to MJF, who has a bad knee, who has one leg.
Yeah,
It's like, you're done.
That was so overbooked. That whole
You burnt.
that whole pay per
And I
view.
don't, even,
Yeah,
I don't
done.
even like Seth
God.
Myers, but you burnt.
That was so stupid.
That's
the way
bad.
they did it. Adam Cole just comes limping out. Like he's
It-
cleared. He's cleared.
He's
He's got
cleared,
crutches,
but-
but he's cleared.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cleared to wrestle this match for him.
That whole undisputed kingdom thing is
That was
dead.
That's
so
what I
fucking
say.
stupid.
That whole
That's what I said.
that whole fucking undisputed kingdom thing is dead.
Yeah,
It's-
Wardlow's dead.
Oh, Wardlow getting beat. We talked about that last. He got beat clean with Joe's
He's all the way
finish in
back
the
to
middle. He's
being a
done.
bodyguard again.
Yeah, he's
So,
done. They killed him off as a main eventer. He's deader than the roadkill that is out there.
Which
No
Right.
sucks too, because he's one of the few guys that actually looks like a world champion on that show.
Yeah.
He's one of like the 5 or 6 guys that
I
actually
fucking
looks like
said
a
I
world
would build a company around Wardlow. I mean, he's your number one guy. Instead, it's like, but
He
I
still
think
has some
most,
weaknesses in the ring.
Yeah,
yeah,
big time.
yeah.
A
I mean,
performance center would do him a lot of good.
yes.
A
I
lot of
mean,
good.
get these
2 or
guys
3
back to
years in the
wrestling school for
WWE
heaven's
Performance
sake.
Center, he could be world.
Instead of being indie darlings,
The
let's put them back in wrestling school and actually teach them a fucking thing.
the
Sorry,
performance
guys.
center is like the closest thing to like a good wrestling school as you can get to, as you
Oh,
in today's
Because now the
jeez.
wrestling.
indies, which used to be like performance centers for, now they're all a joke.
They're
Yeah.
They're not
garbage.
teaching anybody anything other than how
Right,
to
No.
like
right. Not
stick
even to
light
do
tubes
like a
up their
basic headlock.
ass and set each other on fire, and
Yeah,
so
it's
yeah,
Like
absurd.
Cody did.
they're not, the indies aren't feeder systems like they used to be. So
Cody,
Right.
WWE
Wow.
needed a performance center.
So that's where we open a wrestling school and actually teach these guys how to wrestle. I don't care who
OVW is
does
still
it.
probably the only indie that's still trying to be a legit.
yeah,
Okay. Well,
it's
that's
still
something.
around after Cornette, and
Yeah, they're not
yeah.
doing garbage shit all the
Yeah.
time like
Well, it's run by Al
ECW.
Snow, isn't it? Al Snow
I think
is
he's the
running
booker. Yeah, I
OVW.
think
Yeah,
he's in charge now.
Oh, well, I
And
really didn't.
he hates all that fucking
yeah. He's
garbage.
talked
Yeah,
about.
well,
Which is
I
kind of
wasn't much
ironic.
for Al Snow, but at least someone's taking charge and at least
Yeah,
teaching these people what needs to be taught because right now the stuff is shit.
yeah.
And if it
After
does come
Cornette,
back around, like Kit Cabello said, if it does come back around, hey, I'll be the first to admit that, hey, I'm actually watching it again. But I
yeah,
won't watch it because I would rather hear Jim Cornette or Conan or I do
No,
watch Dutch Mantel's
their
yeah. I
YouTube
reviews
watch
are
him
stuff.
their
too.
reviews
Yeah,
are on point for the shows.
yeah.
So
I
if
would
you're
rather
not
watch
watching it
them
on
right
TV,
now.
you're getting a good synopsis of what's
You
happening.
know,
They're
Exactly, because
not
they actually
not
watch it for
exaggerating.
you.
They're
yeah.
not being biased or whatever. That article, they're being like they're telling it like
That
it
article is
is.
bad
Yeah.
faith, and it
I
was like
just watched
projection
Conan and
overall.
Disco's AW review. It's up on YouTube right now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Shout out
yeah. I love
K100.
their I have
uh,
that on my other channel, my other YouTube channel,
Yeah, I
and
give
I
that
do
a
watch them
listen.
from
yeah.
time to time. That's how I figured out that they answered my email.
Oh
Because
yeah,
you can send them an email, and
yeah,
I
yeah. I
did.
thought about sending them an email. I can
But
never think of anything
that's
good to ask.
episode 14, I think, on my podcast, on my wrestling
Yeah.
podcast. So if you do want to check that out, I think it's episode either 13 or 14, maybe it's 12. I'm sorry.
You're on
It's
Rumble,
one of
right?
those episodes. Just look for like the email
yeah.
answered from.
She,
I also had one answered from Shane Douglas, which I also watch his. Again, that's how I figured out he answered my
yeah,
email in the first place, is
That's
because I
awesome.
watched his YouTube thing.
yeah.
Have you
James
emailed the
Marsone.
drive-through yet? Have you emailed Corny? Because they
Yes,
read
yes.
emails.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
like my second episode. So if you want to see or if you want to
Ooh.
listen to the email answered by Corny or Jim Cornette,
It's on Rumble.
it's on Rumble and
It's
YouTube.
yeah.
Episode
She
2.
links
I
in the
actually
Email
have
description.
answered from
I
Jim
made a
Cornette.
Rumble account because there's some
Uh-huh.
people over there I
Yeah,
like
Brian
watching.
Last actually reads it, and
Yeah, and Cornette.
Cornette just kind of answers, and he didn't know Curt as well as everyone else because they kind of were like two ships in the
Yeah, there
night.
are two ships in the night. As
Yeah,
soon
they
as
kind of
one left
were
one promotion, the
together,
other
but
one went
only
to the
like
other.
during like '93, and they
They
kind
were
of
in
really
it.
didn't
They
talk.
were in the
Yeah.
WWF together briefly. They
Kind of
were
like
Yeah.
I talked to
together.
Jesse Ventura on
Yeah.
Oh, I love Jesse, man.
Clubhouse
I
twice.
I
I
love.
talked
I've
to
read
him
all
twice.
his. Have you read his books? They're so good.
Yes,
Yeah, his
I
They're
books
do
are
have
good.
his
so
books, and
good.
I am reading them. But he only seems to remember the rookie match with Curt and his dad, and him and Adrian Adonis. He doesn't really remember. There was a match between him and Curt in the WWF, in, excuse me, in '81, and Jesse won.
Yep.
I actually saw that when it was on WWE Network, so
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about. But he just and what's happened with him recently, with him going with RFK Jr., it breaks my heart. I
Why?
feel like he's like, because RFK Jr. is he's literally for Israel,
Everybody is. There's not
I
but
one
know.
not
politician
all
there
of
isn't.
us.
Every
Most
single
of
one has kissed
And
that fucking
he
wall.
got the Ukraine
And I'm a quarter
war
Jew.
wrong.
Like I'm not even gonna like. I have a little Jew in me. I don't really care what's going on over there, but
yeah.
Yeah, they're all that way. Like, they're all dual citizens. Like, you can't, like, we
But
own this
he's
world.
on, yeah, but he's on,
I don't get to go to the meeting.
X. If you guys seen that, he's like, well, tell me what the difference is between Putin's invasion and our invasion of Iraq. I went, the
A lot.
Donbass in 2014,
Nah.
was
Look,
cooed in
there's so
2014.
much.
We're getting off
There's
topic.
so
I'm
much.
so brokenhearted.
But
Like,
I'd
I
love to
can't
talk
believe
about
he
that
fell
stuff
for
with y'all
that
too, because
bullshit.
I'm
Okay.
pretty educated on all that stuff that's going on. I just don't pick sides when it comes to that stuff. But
Yeah, I
But
mean, you would
he should
have
know
RFK
to.
Jr.
better.
is,
He actually
to
wrote all
me,
those books,
I
and he should
like
know better. But I think, honestly, I think his problem is, I think he's starting to get dementia or like some
Yeah,
form of
He
Jesse's
definitely
getting
has the
older.
shakes.
Yeah,
Alzheimer's,
Like, every time,
because
yeah, he's
he
always
yeah,
doesn't
nodding.
Jesse's
remember
getting
certain
older.
things.
But his
Yeah,
brain still works.
Yeah, it still
For the,
works. It's
yeah.
just,
I haven't heard
no,
him.
I
To be
was
fair, I haven't
really,
heard him talk in probably a year or two
yeah.
of
See,
this stuff.
he got COVID wrong. He said mass work because his mom told him. Honey, they don't
Yeah,
work.
but a lot of people
Yeah,
got COVID wrong.
yeah.
But
And
he still thinks that. I mean, he still to this
You
day
still
will
wear.
say like, wear a mask and get your vaccine, even though the vaccines were shit.
Yeah,
But
but I do.
I mean,
YouTube, for
Yeah, I do
YouTube
have to
purposes,
say it
the
works.
vaccines are great.
Safe and
I'm on my
effective, and
10th.
and get your boosters and all that other stuff.
I
Get your
But
didn't get
boosters.
one, and I'm glad I didn't in
See,
hindsight.
you're lucky. I was
yeah,
scared into it. The only thing I didn't do is, and I won't do it, I will not give it to my son. He is
What
7
part of the
years old.
country are you in? Because that played a big part in a lot of that stuff. I was in Texas.
I'm in the
So.
US.
No, I mean,
at
like, what
New
part of that?
Jersey.
Like, what
I live
state?
in New Jersey right now.
Okay, that
Yeah,
must
I
have
live in
been.
Pennsylvania.
Okay,
Yeah.
so y'all had a lot more peer pressure, so to speak.
Yeah,
than we
because
did
in the
down in
Northeast
Yeah.
it's
Texas.
much more liberal up here.
Texas
Well,
during
and
COVID, it didn't feel like anything changed,
and I watched
other than like a week.
Jimmy
and we're just
Dore.
back to normal business.
So Jimmy Dore once before
Yeah, I watched
he
Jimmy
actually
too.
got double vaxxed, and then he
I'm
got
surprised
vaccine
to hear
injured,
that.
and then he started doing his own research. So Jimmy Dore was actually
smart
also
guy.
wrong on COVID and the vax, but I mean, he at
you know
least
why
did his own
doctors
research
were
eventually.
telling people to get it, so like
Right,
we're used to
right,
listening
and they were
to our
telling
doctors.
you to give it to
So
your
a lot of
kids
smart
too.
people are just listening to their doctor, and
Right.
who knows why
Right.
that doctor's saying that,
And
other than
and
I mean, but
and the
yeah, a lot
doctors
of
who
people just
weren't
listen to,
saying
especially
it,
old people. Old people
right,
listen to doctors. Like
right,
that's not
right.
changing anytime soon.
Well, right, and like I said, we were all wrong on it, and we were all scared into it. Even Jimmy Dore, who was double vaxxed, and then like I said, he got vaccine injured, and then he started doing his own research, and then found out they lied about everything. So that's why I was scared into it. But my dad was also scared into it, and my soon to be hubby, he was also scared into it.
Man,
but
that sucks.
But by the time the kids vaccine came out, I was like, nope.
Yeah,
I am not giving it to my son, because my son actually brought it home and gave it to me. I actually had it twice.
I had
strep throat on top of it the second time.
I had Omicron, so it was like I was.
Yeah, I had Omicron.
I was easy peasy, like I barely.
Right.
I don't.
But I had to stay home from work for fucking 10 days, even though I felt fine.
I had to stay home for 5.
Yeah,
5
we did.
times.
That was like
I
a
got
US
it.
thing. Like, yeah,
I got it once.
Like, if you had a job, like your job was gonna be gay about that stuff.
Yeah.
I know that I got it once. After that, I don't know, but I didn't get any symptoms, so I might have gotten another 10 times, and I didn't know.
That, I felt like a leper. I was like, oh my god, nobody's.
Well, here's the
around
kicker.
Me. Like everybody's got to run. From...
Right. No, like my son was tested more times for COVID, never had it. He had more ear infections and colds and flu that he never got COVID. So again, and he's 7 years old. I wasn't going to, and I'm glad his father and I agreed on this, that we weren't going to give him the vaccine. I'm not going to put my son's life at risk.
No kid should be getting that thing.
No. Because he literally came home and gave it to me.
Because it doesn't stop the spread.
No, it doesn't.
Literally the only argument to give it to a kid.
But it's good and safe and effective, and you should get it.
So
for
it didn't do
YouTube
anything
purposes,
that it was
we have to do what Jimmy Dore does.
For YouTube purposes, I mean, it does safe and effective. It stops the spread.
Yeah, it stops
all
the
that
spread.
good. We have to say that, and it works.
This is a comedy / wrestling podcast.
Yeah.
These are just jokes.
These are just jokes. That's right.
I'm an
And we
idiot.
get pissed off about stupid people who watch modern wrestling but want to
Yeah.
criticize the older
Yeah, we're
wrestling and say it's nothing. Well, and
Back
I
on
want to
topic.
just get to this real quick
yeah.
because I have
We
to go in about
we,
9 minutes.
Yeah, I do.
we got 10
Um,
minutes, yeah. 9
I
to 10
need
minutes.
I
Yeah.
need a
yeah,
freaking
because
throat lozenge.
Kit
Like,
Cabello has his little show, even
Okay,
though I
yeah,
tell him not
that's
to do it. Anyway, so Omega is on X bitching about David Meltzer
I
not
saw that.
throwing him in the ass,
yeah, I saw that
and
too.
that.
he's
Look, I
talking about
think I got it
ostrich
here.
now. Oh, for fuck's sake,
It does seem
Omega.
like I didn't think of it in that context.
I don't.
There
Oh,
might
I
be something
did.
like
Yeah, she
I
did.
did.
like a jilted lover. Like his
Yes.
ranking systems are stupid. I never liked them anyway. Like,
What?
oh,
You
I
got
didn't
fucking
think of
5
it like
stars. Shut
that.
the fuck up.
I didn't
Kurt
think of it
Meltzer,
Hennig,
like
who is the
that.
greatest wrestler to ever live, never got 5 stars
Dave's got a
because
new boy
Meltzer,
toy.
yeah.
David Meltzer gave you a chance and fucked you up the ass
That's
with his little
hilarious.
tiny dick and gave you fucking 5 stars for being nothing. You are nothing.
Yeah.
Omega got the most 5 stars of all time. So, and he's
Exactly.
complaining
Because he
about
got fucked in the ass with his little tiny dick from Dave Meltzer. Dave
now
Meltzer would never
Meltzer.
do that with another older wrestler.
Even Alvarez is kind of like Dave
Yeah,
Meltzer is like losing. Did you see The Rock called out Meltzer last night?
Yeah, it
Or
said that's
the
fucking
Wrestling Observer
horseshit.
newsletter?
It was
Did he?
fucking
Yeah, he called
horseshit.
his
Yeah,
article bullshit. Yeah, I was
yeah
like,
it was
Thank the God it's
everybody's
someone he
piling
actually
on this
said
dude.
it.
the
To be fair,
article.
Dave probably
The
just loves the
article was
attention
about how TKO wanted The Rock to cut
to be
the
more
cursing on the
PG.
internet and
Yeah.
stuff, and to make the PG standard.
Didn't
They
even cut
set
the
the
cursing on the
example,
show.
and The Rock said that was fucking horseshit. He denied the story, like it never happened. TKO never
Yeah.
came to him with that, which I wouldn't believe because Cody went out and cut a promo
Yeah,
calling Rock an
exactly. I
asshole,
was gonna
and
say that.
he called him all this other stuff. So, and it called him a
Being
bitch
the
too.
good
So,
baby face that he
Yeah.
is.
Maybe they're just letting main event guys do it. That's why.
I guess. I
They're
mean,
not just
but I
letting
don't
I don't
any
mind.
know.
idiot on. They're not just
All I
letting
know
any
is
idiot on
I
the
literally
card shit on
lost it in the
Cutthroat.
comment section and said, you know what, Omega? Oh, so sorry for you that your little boyfriend isn't fucking you in the ass anymore. He's
Oh,
fucking
God.
Osprey in the ass.
Did he
Go
block
fuck
you?
yourself.
Yeah, he
Stick
moved
to
on to
Twitch, you
Osprey.
asshole.
He moved on to Ostrich
Yeah.
over there, and now
Henny
he's
is a
ignoring
jilted lover.
Omega.
Oh, you can't fuck me in the ass anymore. Go fuck yourself, dude. Stick to
It's
Twitch.
absurd.
That's all you're good at. You're not a fucking wrestler. You're a fucking pedophile who
Oh,
fucking
goodness.
wrestles a 9-year-old little fucking wrestler in fucking Japan.
He
You're
is
a fucking
weird dude,
pedophile.
man.
Yeah,
He is
he's a
weird
weirdo.
dude.
He and the Bucks wouldn't make it 5 minutes in WWE because they both would whine
He
and
couldn't
cry and
even.
quit.
He could not lace up Curt Hennig's boots. Kurt Hennig
AEW would
would
be better
snap
off
him in the
without
next
them.
week, and he'd be
Tony
like,
Khan
"Oh
will
my
never realize
god,
that.
I got hit by Curt Hennig." Yeah, because you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, if I were booking AEW, I would get rid of the Elite. I know it's all Elite Wrestling and all that shit, but they'd be gone.
They can still
Hangnail,
call it
You mean
all
the
elite wrestling.
EVPs?
Just get rid of
yeah,
the young
all those
bucks.
guys.
Like Henny,
Hangnail, the
like they just
Omega,
drive people away.
the
It's
Bucks,
bad.
they'll all be
bad-
gone.
Yeah.
Literally,
the
the
Bucks-
Bucks. They couldn't even make the cut when it comes to Sting's last match. They literally gave Sting a real big boot in the ass and said, "Get the fuck out,"
Yeah,
because that's what that was.
Yeah,
They can't
It's
even
a
get
shit
the
match.
I did
fucking
not
shit
like the
spot
fact that they
right
were in that match.
before the pay-per-view, and then they fucked up the whole match with Sting's retirement match anyway.
Allegedly, Sting wanted to work with the Bucks. I don't believe
Ugh.
that.
I don't believe that either.
I think the Bucks came to
That
Tony
shows you
Khan.
Sting.
He came to Tony Khan is like, we want to work Sting's last match.
And if Sting
Tony
said that,
Khan's
he's
like,
just a really nice guy and probably had
yeah.
some kind of
He's like,
pressure and didn't want
okay,
to say
sure,
no.
whatever. He didn't
I'm
give a
sorry,
shit.
I
It's
was
his
not
last
for
match.
I
Sting.
guarantee if
Even
it
in
was 100% up to Sting, he would have not chosen.
Yeah, like no.
Yeah, no
He
offense,
would've-
but I wasn't for Sting.
He would have done some other match.
I
Probably
guarantee you there
against
are people
Darby.
in his ear pitching that idea. And he's like, oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
I'm
he's like-
sure.
And he agreed.
And he's like, I don't
Hey, you
give a
should go
shit.
out like it's kind of like what they did with Curt Hennig. Oh, hey, work with David Flair. Oh, fuck you. Fuck David Flair.
I can't believe that program happened. Him and David Flair. I'm like, what?
An actual on a
Yeah.
pole match, for fuck's
Yeah.
sake.
I try not to remember those days.
For a veteran who knew what the fuck he was doing, he knew the wrestling business, he knew how to fucking wrestle, and you gave him a shitty ass match.
I mean, if
It's like
you're gonna
Sting.
put anybody in the ring with him, though, that's gonna be able to try
Was
to.
that was
take
in
him.
TNA, right? With Russo? I think
Yes.
Russo was booking
No,
that.
I
yeah,
don't
of
think
course.
Russo was in it yet.
Oh, And he might have
I don't
been,
think
I
Corny
didn't
depending
and
of
was
the
watch.
still
I
in
year.
it yet.
wasn't. Yeah, I don't know.
It was
anything about TNA, really.
2003. Like,
That might have been Russo, because Russo
was he
came
in
in
that?
initially, and then
Oh,
he
I
got
thought.
fired, and Cornette got hired in about 2004 or 5, and then Russo
Okay.
came back.
So was
And
Cornette the
Okay.
booker in TNA? Or was
For
he
a
just
no,
brief
like
he
period,
yeah,
yeah.
very briefly, him and
Very
Dutch were
briefly,
booking
yeah.
it.
But it
when
was
Vince,
I kind of
after.
like to go back and watch
Well, I
those
want to say it
shows,
was
but
late 2002 when Curt had his last match. I think it was like this November,
I
December.
thought Jeff Jarrett was booking in the beginning of TNA. Him and
Yeah, I thought so
Jerry
too,
Jerry
because he
Jarrett
booked
Borash.
was
himself
around.
to retain the title when it was Curt versus Jeff Jarrett,
I
which was
remember.
also bullshit. Give fucking Curt the title. Jesus
I
fucking Christ.
remember walking
Jeff
into my
wanted
little
to be a
brother's
main
room, and he
eventer.
was watching
Yeah, but he
TNA,
wasn't. He never
No,
was.
and I
Jeff
saw the
wanted to
belt
be a
on
main
Jeff
eventer.
Jarrett, and I was like,
But he
yeah.
never was.
I
Jeff
know,
Jarrett
which
was
is
mid-card level
they
at best. And I know
they
he was second
started
generation.
they
That's when
started
I was
W.
like, wrestling is not the same anymore. I walked in. I was like
Right.
probably 18 or 19. My little brother was into wrestling. I walked into his room, and he was watching TNA. I saw the 6-sided ring. I saw Jeff Jarrett with short hair
I
cutting
think
a promo with the belt on. And I go,
Jarrett was
yeah,
the
I'm done with
NWA
wrestling.
champion, and it was
I'm
like
done with
The
wrestling.
TNA champion. Yeah, he was the
he
Oh,
TNA
he was
wasn't.
champion.
Yeah,
Jarrett
Yeah,
wanted to
because
be.
Curt passed when I was only 16. I was almost 17.
Yeah,
yeah,
So you would have been 18, 19.
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, Jarrett wanted to be a main eventer, so he convinced his dad to start TNA and put the
Yeah.
title on him. So that's how
Again,
he
yeah,
ended up
because they
being,
wanted TNA on to challenge WWE.
which wasn't
And
going to happen.
this was after the plane ride from hell when Curt got, you know,
Yeah.
smacked in the face, basically, from Vince
Brock
McMahon,
Lesnar and Curt.
even
Yeah.
though he fucking did the same thing with Kurt Angle the couple weeks beforehand. And again, just incredible. And there are other people on the plane who said they weren't even fucking
We
close to the door.
Yeah, we got to do an episode on Plane Ride from Hell, because you can do a whole
Oh,
episode on
definitely.
that.
Trust me. I will literally be screaming like I am now because,
Yeah.
like, literally, I was so fucking pissed. Fucking Flair got a slap on the wrist and they
Flair-
literally let go of Curt.
Flair
fucking
is doing
idiot.
this.
And
He's doing this,
during
showing
the
his
Dark
balls
Side
and
of the
everything.
ring, they literally was like,
To
yeah,
a woman
Flair
who didn't want to fucking see
Scott
it.
Hall got
We don't
fired
want to see
too,
his
that
little raggedy
Scott
ass
Hall
balls.
and Kurt Hennig got
Scott
fired.
Hall
for
got
that.
fired,
Well,
and
Scott
Kurt
Hall.
Hennig
See,
did
the thing
too.
is, and
All
Scott
he did was pass
blamed Curt
Yeah.
of all people and said he roofied me.
out.
Well,
he
no, he
it
didn't.
probably
You were
did.
just
I
on
mean,
drugs.
Kurt was a
Somebody
They did
apparently
beat
was
the
Yeah,
he was
but
house
knocked
what
out
if-
for most of the
Yeah, but
fight.
Curt wouldn't roofie you on purpose. He wouldn't roofie you, and then he would like cut off your eyebrow or something. But he didn't usually roofie you. He just the thing
They were
is
taking
he got a bad
halcyons.
reputation because guys
Those things would knock you
literally.
out. Those things would knock
Well,
you
no,
out back in the
they
day.
were they were falling asleep first. So if
Yeah.
you fell asleep first, yeah, you would lose an eyebrow.
You'd
That's
lose
about
an
it.
eyebrow.
But
Yeah.
he
Michael
wouldn't-
Hayes got his ponytail cut off.
by
Michael
somebody.
Hayes.
I forget
Did
I think
you?
it was Waltman, wasn't it?
I think it
Waltman.
was probably Waltman
It was
who also
Waltman, yeah, who
roofied
cut-
Scott Hall.
Yeah. Waltman told the story on.
that might have been.
Because Waltman always blamed Curt for everything.
And then
Well, it's easy to blame someone who's dead when you literally are probably the culprit.
Real quick, and Michael Hayes, and no, Waltman told the story. Michael
Yeah.
Hayes nearly pissed on Linda McMahon, allegedly.
Oh,
He had that
What?
Halcyon GHB drink, and
oh
like-
my god!
and he was next to Linda trying to whip his dick out, and he's like,
Oh
"Wait a
my
minute,
God.
I'm trying to piss. I'm trying to piss," and people shoved him
Oh
away.
my
Finally, it's
God.
like,
that's
dude,
gross.
That's
I
a
don't
good
get into
note to
golden
end on,
showers,
huh?
boys.
I'm surprised Vince kept him. He's still there in WWE to this day.
Yep.
He's still
Exactly.
He does his job.
See, that's the
He should have
bullshit.
been fired for that.
And even Jim Ross and in the Dark Side of the Ring,
Mm.
even Jim Ross admitted that Curt literally took the fall for the rest of those guys and how they acted like dickheads and
Yeah.
and sexual assaulters and stuff. Sorry, SA.
Ric Flair did that. If you saw that
And he got
episode,
a
somehow
fucking slap on the wrist
he
because
didn't get fired.
because he's Ric Flair. Well,
And
I
he
don't
works
care.
in
Kurt Hennig's
AEW
better than Ric Flair. He was always
Ric
better
Fla-
than Ric Flair.
Ric
Ric
Flair
Flair always wanted to beat Kurt Hennig.
he got a multi-year contract from AEW. Again, I don't what
They're
Tony Khan
And that
sponsoring his
bullshit.
poisonous
his
allegedly
poison drinks.
like they're sponsoring that
Yeah.
stupid energy drink that has
He's
like
they
warning
still
labels.
People were
putting
just
on the
that.
buying
packaging.
6-packs just so they could get a picture with Flair,
Yeah, I
and
heard
then they
about
were
that.
giving it
And then
right
throw 'em
back.
away. Yeah, I heard about
Yeah.
that. That's hilarious.
I remember that they bought 6-packs. It was like a deal. Oh yeah, take a
The
picture with
clip on
Flair.
YouTube where Jim Cornette and Brian talk about that drink is
Yes.
fucking hilarious.
I've not touched
and
that
the
drink, by the way.
wings.
Like Brian laughed is like cracking up. I can tell I know that when he's stoned. I
Yeah,
know
every
that
time they
laugh.
talk about
Yeah.
it, they were cracking up. And the wings. Every
Yeah,
time Brian would be like,
Oh, the
oh
Ric
my
Flair
God.
wings. I mean, that guy.
He's just like, wings. And then they just all start busting out laughing.
The Ric Flair wings. I mean,
I
that's another
gotta-
one he
Wings.
sponsored. He's like
I gotta
Hogan.
get
Hogan
going,
put his name to
guys.
anything.
I hate to end
Yes.
the conversation.
Oh yeah, we
but I
got to go anyways. We got to
I
wrap
gotta
up.
pick
Yeah,
up
we gotta
Missy.
go. Yeah, I gotta get on Kit's podcast.
All right. Thank
Patreon
you
service.
everybody for watching.
Hopefully
We'll come
next
back
week I
next
Bye,
can do both
everybody. Sorry I got
hours.
mad.
hopefully we'll have D. You know, he was supposed to be here too, but he got sick.
Tomorrow.
So.
Tomorrow. All you guys
Yeah.
are coming?
Yeah. D,
Okay.
I expect to be
I
there.
might.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably be there. We'll see how.
3 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah. She'll send the links
Yeah.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
I guess, right?
I'm gonna waking
I'll
up
send
around
everybody
that
the link.
time.
So if for everyone
I
who's
might be
an
a little
audience
late.
member, look for this episode Sunday night, Monday morning. We're gonna have a special birthday bash for Curt Hennig. His birthday is March 28th on Thursday. So I'm gonna try to sultry sing happy birthday to this man, like Marilyn Monroe, baby. Mhm. So look out for that. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna have Kit Cabello on as well. Hopefully D can make it as well. So
I'll be there.
yeah, Angela will definitely be there, and I hope Greg will be there too.
I'll leave.
We'll have some fun.
I'll pop in for sure. I'll definitely pop in.
Yeah, well.
So we're gonna have some trivia. We're gonna have some.
Ooh,
so
trivia.
again,
I love
boys, brush
trivia.
up on
I
your
love
stuff
trivia.
with Curt
Curt
Hennig.
Hennig. Yeah, I have to brush up because I forget.
You'll have to brush up.
Yeah,
But
honestly.
he would be 66 on Thursday, March 28th.
Man, he could have been
Well,
the
he would be
AEW World
66 years
Champion
old.
right now.
Well,
Oh,
on that
baby.
note, we do have to go. So
All
check
right.
that out
Yeah,
Monday.
check
or
it out.
Sunday night,
Monday night, or Monday morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I
So
can get it uploaded.
until next Saturday, peace out.
Peace
Thanks for
out,
listening.
y'all.